We here at Hipsters on Purpose
serving theoretical content
serving
on a theoretical annual basis.
on a dodeca annual. What is there like a thing for 12, like a quadruple or like a?
I'm sure math is so fucked up you can find just about anything for what you're looking for.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, like that thing that you want is out there, and I think that's just the general rule of law in life. And sometimes you shouldn't look for it.
It's better to leave it ambiguous.
Yeah,
because you're just not ready for the answer.
Right, 100%. Like the mind's eye is not can't even percept that whole thing in the first place, right?
I know. I was watching one of the like Adam Savage tested builds,
right?
And apparently you can just build an inside-out cube.
What does that even look like? How can you even fathom
I
that?
couldn't describe it to you other than if you turned a cube inside out, it would look like that.
That sounds terrifying.
It's pretty terrifying.
That's the kind of non-Euclidean shit that's like in an SCP.
And then they made all of the surfaces mirrors, but there were one-way mirrors. And they just stuck a light in it.
Is that like a theoretical like new way to induce psychosis? Because like there's no way.
The shape's not theoretical, but the psychosis that gets induced,
Yeah, because there's no way like a traditional human being sees that and goes, "That's normal.
That's a good cube.
That cube shouldn't be the way it is."
That's a healthy shape right there. That makes me feel good.
It gets me real good in the heart and the giblies, and I just feel at peace. No, opposite.
No. Speaking of theoretical cubes, we have more video game news that came out.
Wow.
Including the green theoretical cube that we will talk about today.
It was a green cube.
Sort of. The top is green.
Mm-hmm.
In its porous surface on the top.
Jesus Christ, the original Xbox was a fucking monster of a system to even look at. I remember owning one of those for so long, and just like the disc tray took up what felt like the entire of the front face of it. Like, but you know what? That does bring me back to days where I really miss days where the disc eject button was just a big fuck off button. Because when I look at my PS4, I go, where is it?
So my dad recently, he sells cars. I swear this is going somewhere. Picked up like a little Sprinter limo thing to sell.
Right.
That had an Xbox 360 in it. It's the black one that it concaves.
Yeah.
It's like that. And my mom's like, I want that. So she was asking me how to set up the Xbox, and I was talking her through it today, and she had me on the video thing. And she's like, okay, Max, one more thing. How do I open the disc tray?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you hit the eject button on the front. And she turned the camera, and there is no eject button on that console, to my knowledge.
For the 360?
For the 360... Is it the Slim? Is that what it's called? It's you know which one? It's the black. It's the black one. It's like the last edition of it that they released. So I'm like,
no, it's a
button on the menu.
It's a button on the menu,
but there is no physical button on the console.
No.
And me and my mom both. She's like, you're supposed. This is like all. It's the one thing you do.
Why? So why is that like part of design? Like where in the specs does someone like? Because that's a fucking like decision that someone makes together. Like that's a room of people that come together and go, fuck that button in particular, the one that's essentially used all the time.
Yeah, no. Power button, still a big chrome circle. Takes up
huge
at least 25% of the front.
You want to take the thing out of the front, you better turn the bitch on.
I hope you have double A's. I hope your controller's not dead.
Oh, is your fucking GPU melted? Guess your game's gone.
Nope. Get a crowbar.
Fucking, did you open it up? Fuck you, your warranty's dead.
Warranty's dead. You should have kept the butter knife away from it. Did you really need your copy of Epic Mickey back that badly?
Is that... you know what? I would think the AAA market would do some shit like that back in the day. Like, if that's not part of the...
Trap your game and then void your warranty for trying to free it.
Yeah. Like that, like the Peter Moore mentality of the fucking Xbox slide. Like, whoever the guy who, like, fucked off to Zynga.
Yeah.
You know that guy? Who like...
Vaguely,
yeah. I forget that fucking guy's name. Because both Peter Moore and him were on the same wavelengths and were both kicked off of fucking Microsoft for the same reason, which is they're fucking greedy bitches.
That's crazy. It's like, yeah, I was just trying to save my copy of Skate 2, and now
you realize this relic of the past is gone forever.
Yeah.
Because it just so happens that, like, which is also a terrifying. So I know that, like, GPUs can absolutely overheat and, like, fuck off. But, like, that's, like, a terrifying thing that happens consistently with the 360 infrastructure.
From its first iteration.
Yeah.
Like, common problem.
I remember there was a thing that my friends used to do. Like, I had a friend in particular, whose name is Steven, and he found a way, and I'm trying to remember the specifics of it, but all it basically meant was he actually red lighted death on so many Xboxes that at certain points Best Buy kind of considered him a customer that just had a warranty that would just kind of he could kind of switch Xboxes out.
Persistent warranty.
Yeah. So what would happen is if a new Xbox came out that he wanted, he would just say it red lighted on him or induce red lighting and just got a new Xbox, like got a new iteration.
See, I probably had the same reputation for fat PS3s that got the yellow light of death
Right.
at my local You Break I Fix. If I kept my receipts for those things because I was stubborn and I wanted the backwards compatibility, I've lost maybe 5 or 6 fat PS3s just over the years. But like,
for me, it was at least two or three 360s and one PS4.
that's right. Your original PS4 got fucked.
Yeah, I bought a PS4. I bought a Gen 1. So like the in December when it was released, like I think the month before in 2013, I bought it, and within the first week of playing it, I had some visual artifacting on it, and I was like, that seems like a fucked up thing. Okay, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
And when I sent it in and I asked them what happened, they said, "Oh, it just chewed up everything inside." I said, "What did?" I said, "Well, when you turned it on, everything just, I guess the heat sink didn't work and everything was pretty much on fire inside of this fucking console."
Jesus.
And I was like, "Oh, so the fucking thing's tanked." I go, "Yeah, we're sending you a new one."
And that's crazy because Alicization Lycoris wasn't even out at that time.
Oh my god. Is that running better for you?
Substantial.
Yeah.
With anti-cheat enabled, not as good as when it wasn't enabled.
Yeah.
But substantially better.
It's playable. You know what I mean? And it's
for me, it runs really good. The problem is it still uses resources. But we'll get to that.
yeah, 100%. Oh my god.
No, I'm going to acknowledge the chat just this once. What do you mean the Jump Force section of the podcast?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Is there?
Is there? I thought there was Jump Force news.
Is there big Jump Force lore?
Well, not lore, but I know there's new characters.
You guys got the video out of that.
Yeah,
it's one of the 3 videos you guys got. There's enough Jump Force content.
The one like Max and Phil. Anytime Max and Phil come together for content in the channel, it's always a good time. When it's separate,
yeah, just
I don't know,
but
anymore.
Not a good enough time for Jump Force Part 2.
Yeah, straight up.
That was the one time. I think they're lying. I'm not seeing it.
I think because I remember seeing it, but it was a while ago.
Oh,
like during the Namco Bandai shit.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going back.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's
that fucking stream
Todoroki.
That stream that made me so fucking mad, but also was entirely my fault.
You were the only one who watched that because
I didn't watch it because I fucked up and I forgot how time works, and I was like, okay, so 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 o'clock. No, it's 4 p.m. PST. Yeah. That's 8 o'clock Eastern, right? And I go, no. Because you know what I was? I didn't even second guess it because 3 people in the Discord said, yeah. And I go, okay. And I believed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not only was I stupid, but so was all of our people.
My brain thinks 3 hours in the past, and then I check a clock to see when I am.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And I work forward from PST because everything is PST now when you're following events.
Do you want to? Are you of the mindset that if we were on that time frame, we would probably have decent sleep schedules? Like honestly,
if we lived there?
Yeah. I think about that a lot.
Yes and no, because when it's an early morning event, we can sleep in.
Yeah.
Why? Whereas they have to get up at 6 a.m. to watch their disappointing
Yeah,
Nintendo
that
Directs.
that is true.
So
that is 100% true.
So,
But because that's why Maximilian does his fucking 12-hour streams into the fucking the event. Yeah, so that part kind of sucks, but like everything else, I think would. I don't know. I like Cali. Cali was fun. Cali's a good time.
Cali was fun. I don't know if it's like fun enough to change change my
probably
clock.
not.
No. And their sleep schedules be fucked up over there too. I don't think that changes.
I think it gets worse.
Probably, yeah.
Because if I'm looking at Lyle, who literally, I mean, that I remember going to his house, and like, you know how certain people they have like that, like, okay, so they buy the 4-packs of the energy drinks, right? This man had like the full Coca-Cola, Pepsi can like boxes, the rectangle boxes of just 2-hour like the 5-hour energy shots.
Lyle's crazy. He has like 5-hour energy and red line.
Yeah.
Red line terrifies me.
Yeah, but like his body doesn't like make sense to me because it's like I feel like it's just like it goes through him because you've met him, right? You see how lanky that motherfucker is.
Not in person, no.
No, really? Okay, so he's huge. So he's a big guy, but like he's got nothing. Like he's just a big old skeletal man.
Yeah.
And the idea that he's able to consume all of these things and do all these things and his body isn't that, or he just, because he hasn't gone to a doctor in like the last 10 years, his body may be potentially breaking down like before we know it, and we just don't know. Like that's also another real thing that just happens.
Real possibility.
But he's very.
But is he very fast? Like, what's the trait? How fast?
He's quick-witted.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't seem particularly athletic.
The red line.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe the red line goes to your brain. I know the Red Bull doesn't boost my humor at all.
I always, well, you know what actually does do that a lot for me is why I want to get back to it, is working out. Just working out for whatever reason gets your brain, because your body just fucking goes, finally, fuck. Like, what are you doing?
I'll just stay unfunny, I think. I think I'll stay unfunny and lazy.
Oh Christ,
man.
Max, what did you do with your week, man?
I know, it's crazy.
What did you do with your life?
It really is wild that we're like one wall away, but like the walls are down. Now we're not between
we're
rooms.
Social distancing still. It's a perfect social distance. But we're now I'm sitting on the other side of his place. I want to paint how, but both of us are kind of dealing with the quarantine. Yeah. So my room is a disaster. My sheets are barely on my bed. My clothes are scattered everywhere, and the only thing that's like my entire desk is filled with water bottles. Max has set up his entire room to be his gamer fuck den, and it looks great.
Yeah, except for my bed, which is kind of the same.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like mine looks like I've quintessential otaku, like neat man. Like this is what happens when any form of like actual fucking like, I guess, schedule just goes the way the dinosaur for me.
Yeah.
And like any form of like I need like when I get up for work and I have a schedule and I have something I have to do. Whereas now they don't even care if I clock in at 11. Like, I haven't gotten anybody who's told me a fucking thing about it, and they just keep telling me good work. And I'm like, cool. I'm just going to keep doing this then.
See, where I'm at, it's like, I spent what weird free time I now have, and the first thing I did is like, well, I guess I'll rearrange my room. Well, I guess I'll put those things over there. Well, I guess, and I just started moving things around.
Yeah.
And like, oh, well, I guess I'll start putting things up on the walls, and that's just how I've been filling the time.
You know what it is too, is that you have smaller things. For whatever reason, I thought I didn't have that many things. I have a lot of like just large furniture that does not fit that room.
Well, the thing is like, because I told you, but my mom wanted to just surprise me with a bed,
right?
Like a queen-sized bed,
right?
She's just like, "Oh, you have a package coming from Amazon, which was Takagi-san, which I don't want my mom calling me, tell me about that. I'm checking it myself." And she's like, oh, you may have one other thing coming. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I didn't order anything else. And she's like, well, I got you a little something, something. And she was being real cute about it. I'm like, oh, is it like a surprise? And she's like, no, I'll tell you. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And she's like, well, I got you like a queen size bed.
Which is really nice. But like,
yeah, and a mattress and a mattress topper and a whole comforter set. And I'm like, Mom, this says it's coming day after tomorrow. There's nowhere to put any of that. I pull this off because I have like a futon that's like a twin and a quarter.
Right.
It's not a real size.
Yeah.
It's like I picked this up off the shelf at Kmart. It was like display brand.
My queen's not even mine. My queen is a hand-me-down from the last place I was at, and they were like, well, we're going to use the guest room as like a baby room now that you're gone.
Yeah.
So like, do you just want this fucking thing for like $300? And I said, sold. And I just gave it and I just bought it. So I was like, okay, cool. But then like I'm looking at it and the first thing I realized was like, first and foremost, that whole fucking thing ended up finally breaking because it broke in the travel to get here. Mm-hmm. And then I guess I just fucking had sleepless nights where I'm just crawling over like a big dumb baby and the thing just broke underneath. And I was like, okay. So I took pretty much the whole thing. And now it's just the bed with like kind of covered on sides.
Like a frame.
Yeah, like
it's
a frame.
It's like you put a border on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I just like, it was like, okay, whatever. So it's still a bed. And now that's breaking. And I'm like, fuck off. I just give me the bed. I'll just do the fucking like the Japanese sleeping in the fucking floor, like with a fucking sleeping bag thing from now on, because it's just whatever, man. What the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's quarantine, man.
Quarantine, man.
Changes a man.
More time than ever to do the stuff that we always start the podcast with. And I feel I did some stuff, but not a lot. Not enough to be proud of.
I've finally figured out that like the only way that I was able to get through SAO and just like the part 3 was when you and I just binged it. Like that's the only feasible way I'm going to be able to sit down and consume anime or any kind of show.
Is if I force you.
Well, no, if I
spend a lot of money on Blu-rays.
Hey
guys, I'd also like to confirm right here on the podcast that not only does Max like sword art, but Trump likes sword art too.
Ooh. The one political stance you're gonna fucking land and die on, is Trump being tricked into fucking, that Kirito. He's got a lot of game.
Oh man. So I get all right. You've opened the floor. We got through the first half of Alicization.
And we still have to do the part that I technically got past.
No, you didn't. Like not even close.
Yeah.
After playing the game, like no, you didn't watch it. It's kind of wild, actually.
Yeah.
But you seem to have.
Listen. I don't think we've had this. We try to have little bits and pieces of this conversation during the stream, but that unfortunately kind of went downhill because that game was not prepared, like not ready for launch. Unfortunately,
no.
Thankfully, they did finally release a patch that was we can stream it. I can stream it.
Yeah,
without
my computer.
Yeah, so whenever we want to do co-op. But you also have to slow the fuck down because we can't play together if you're going to just be barreling past me in the chapter 5. You know what I mean? Like, so, which I am desperately trying to keep up. See, my thing is I could skip the cutscenes and just catch up to you.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to give the game a chance in terms of storyline. And from what it's presenting me, it's not terrible. I like what they're doing with Medina. I like the idea of I really like the concept of a savior type. Mm-hmm. Who just has an ability to just touch somebody and like kind of like you know what it is? It's asking the question that Detroit failed to ask, where Marcus just transformed everybody by touching, and if someone goes, Isn't that a little fucked up and taking
Yeah.
away their free will?
No, it's not, because Marcus, he made the robots people.
Robots are people
Robots
now.
are people now.
But like the idea that like SAO of all forms of media deals with a question like that, and Detroit refuses.
They're tackling things that I never thought the Kirito is your friend game would do.
right.
And I guess it's because this is not one of those.
No, it's almost
As I continued playing through the game, it makes less and less sense that you're allowed to make your own character for single player. Like, it makes zero sense.
I like to think of it literally like it's the most disconnected that has ever been.
Like, you said your characters appear in the 3D cutscenes. Does Kirito's voice just come out of their mouth? Because
No.
he talks a lot.
No, so what ends up happening is, it depends on certain 3D cutscenes. So you were right. The traditional story cutscenes, it's him.
Yeah.
But when you pick up Quest, it's the girl talking, like to the people. So like the little bits and pieces where
Yeah.
Kirito's acting like it's him.
Yeah.
But it is her saying Kirito's. That's me.
Okay.
It is her saying Kirito's lines. Like, it is weird.
Oh, fair enough.
But like
Okay.
that does happen. But
I figured.
yeah, no, so the one thing I will kind of hone in on, and the one thing that I will say is what I wanted more from SAO was actually less of this and more of the stuff that people find to be boring, which is I want Mother's Rosario as a full, like not just a full
Yeah.
like not just a part like a I want a season of looking at these people dealing with this like technology, kind of like just I guess the way to look at it would be a whimsical Black Mirror, right? Like it's like it looks at the good side of the technology instead of the bad, which like a lot of SAO kind of does. And the Mother's Rosario arc is literally built around here's all the cool shit that the VR tech can do now.
Yeah.
And it is great. And like there's a lot of really compelling situations that other people who would not understand, like the Asuna and her mother thing, a lot of people think of that as like a throwaway kind of thing, but I'm like, that makes sense. If my kid fucking lost 2 years of her fucking life to this thing and then immediately jumps back in, I have to go, what the fuck is that about? Like, I'm going to cut that off at the fucking source until that person comes up to me and explains to me, this is something I can't do anywhere else, and it makes me feel complete. Like, it just, this makes me feel like I remember my grandparents'
The scene
house.
in the cabin is a really good scene.
It's a really good scene, and it's one of those things where like every single bit of Mother's Rosario, like I told you before, I went into it with the same kind of understanding that I did with Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it was worse because I knew what was going to happen. So
The big gut punch.
the big gut
hurt
punch,
more, yeah.
hurts way more when you understand what the series is leading up to.
Yeah.
And like that was the way, and it's like, so like in Infinity War when that worked, it was worse because they were winning. Remember that? They were flat out beating Thanos' ass.
They win until like the last
the
10
fucking
seconds.
last 10 seconds where he literally sucker fucking punches them with a click.
I've never been in a more silent movie theater at a superhero like film ever in my life. Oh man, I have to watch Peter Parker die.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday. You know, or it's Thursday. It was opening night, so luckily we were all blind. But
Yeah,
like,
but well, because I didn't care. And the same thing with this one, as I told myself I'm never gonna watch this. So, but then I was like, I'm gonna hear you. And to me, like the thing that I took away from it was, GGO is great. There's a lot of things that like I really dislike about the fan service.
yeah,
And that's just always going to be an anime problem. And there's one part where it totally makes sense in the conversation, which is when they're hiding in the cave, and he's like, "We're like kind of really close together, and like people might assume something," and she's like, "Good. If people think we're both girls, that means I'll stop getting less DMs." And I'm like, "That's true. That's a fucking 100% fact.
yeah.
Happens all the time. Whenever me and my gal pals go out in the town, they always link up and go, if anyone approaches us, we're gay. Like that's
That's it.
We're fucking. That's the whole thing. That's it. And I was like, yeah, no, that's 100% like a real thing, and I like that they brought that up because it makes sense because Sinon gets hit up a lot in the fucking GGO. So, and then her whole arc, yeah, like I think that SAO deals when it deals with PTSD and serious topics that aren't rape, like it does it really well. But then it deals with rape, and then okay. So in LA, they learned from what we got in Alicization, they learned because boy howdy was that like the most terrifying fucking rape scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
In Alicization.
Yeah.
So much so that I was so happy that you didn't know that it opens on a fucking warning.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know they hit it
you-
with the Goblin Slayer YTMND bullshit. Not YTM, the TVMA.
Yeah. And that aired on Adult Swim.
And then it was the beginning of the episode. I was like, and also the previous episode leading up to it, and that's the worst part is I knew. I didn't see it. I never saw it happen.
Tease and Ronnie, these seem like fun characters.
Yeah, and like I knew it was going to happen to them, and then when that fucking like, first and foremost, yeah, I would also after the performance that was given, I would also turn to the voice actors and apologize.
Yeah,
because that's what it probably sounds like when hearing two people get fucking raped. Like it is that intense and that fucking like it chills you to the fucking core. And it also makes you completely like a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! After the fact. Like a huge fan of just be like, okay, so he's willing to just break the system, fuck his own eyeballs out just to kill these people. That's my boy.
I need to tear this dude's arm off.
Yeah, it's like I need to fucking kill these motherfuckers here on the spot.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's a rough scene, and I think that like
it's a rough scene that I think they.
I hate that he's used rape essentially 3 times. You know what I mean? Like he's used it 3. So you got the tentacle rape,
ALO.
the potential whatever was going to happen in GGO.
Yeah.
Or at least sexual assault essentially. A sexual assault's a big thing, but like I get it. It's a real thing that happens.
It was a forced double suicide.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was his main goal, was forced double suicide.
Yeah, but looking at who that guy is...
It wasn't a nice guy,
no. But and like that, to me, was not going to be the whole story. You know what I mean?
No.
So...
Again, there's a lot that I defend, and there's a lot that I do not. Well, not a lot that I don't.
I want to put this on the record. I don't think that sexual assault is such a taboo topic that it can't be used as a story device, because I believe that any event that holds like emotional weight to it can totally go somewhere, because as a creator, I think you should allow people to do and say things that are considered to be taboo, because it effectively, as long as it's not glorifying it, you know what I mean?
That's the problem.
And that's the biggest issue with what happened with the ALO arc, was it was basically hentai, which is why, you know, in a sense where, you know, a lot of people, they talk about like the problematic side of hentai, which is most of it, which is, you know, the idea of like, rape her until she likes it. And that's the kind of like mentality that they had in that scene, just with the tentacles.
There were some bad
shots.
shots.
And then like, I guess the final shot too wasn't great either.
No.
You know? So the glorification of it is the biggest issue. And as long as you are making a statement about, hey, this is a terrible thing happening to this person, and you should hate the motherfucker that's perpetrating it or even attempting. And then by all means, I think that like that's okay. I still think that on some level, when you talk about a series that is essentially all about harem shit too, it's a low fucking blow. And that really comes down to, I think I think at this point Reiki Kawahara has already kind of like understood that and has apologized and all that shit, and this was like back in the day where that was essentially considered.
The other things to remember is, one, obviously in the book, those scenes happen a lot quicker, and it's not like there's like 2 full color page spreads of it.
Yeah,
because it's a book.
Yeah.
So the ALO stuff is I 100% put that on A1 Pictures.
Yeah,
100%. And 2, it's not really harem-y stuff. I feel like a lot of that mentality gets put on the series because of stuff like the games and like,
oh, the games are the worst offenders, especially the games now.
yeah, like, whereas the books, it's so much more focused, and like, you know, you've seen it just from watching. It's like, fortunately, Kirito's just a really nice, kind of dense fucking dude.
Yeah.
He's not collecting Pokemon cards, you know.
He's a lot. And that's I think the biggest thing that kind of like gets people really upset is that he doesn't really do anything to deserve being a harem protagonist. He's not trying to be a harem protagonist.
He's in a committed relationship.
He's in a committed relationship to the point where like, and like, this girl knows that he only considers them friends. And I think that's the only reason Asuna even is running around with half these tramps. Because they are flat out.
They get it.
I mean, Silica's not doing shit.
Hands-off policy.
Silica's a child. We're not going to fucking even, like, regardless of how Silica is technically 18 around this time, Silica's always going to be a baby. That's just her arc. Lizbeth, on the other fucking hand, is the kind of bitch who would turn up when, like, they have a fight.
If you're bored.
She'd be like, she did it again, didn't she, kind of girl. You know what I mean? Like the Taylor Swift in the fucking mirror, like the window holding up the sign.
Oh, fuck.
You know, the kind of girl who's like, and guys do this most of the time. I know because I used to be a home wrecker who just turn around and they're like, damn, you know, I'd never do that shit to you, you know? That kind of, like, Lizbeth is a home wrecker.
A little bit of a home
wrecker. Sinon's invited to the three-way, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no way she's not.
Yeah.
There's no way that Asuna hasn't already confirmed, like, all right, on the same level, if I wasn't there and you were, this would be different. Like, 100%.
Yeah.
You know? Leafa, fuck off. Sugaha, I get it, sweetheart. You can't
confusing.
Maybe find friends that aren't your brothers.
Don't maybe the bullheaded twink might not be doing it for you, but there's like a lot of people that exist.
Hey, you know, fuck, I'm forgetting his name. Redhead dude. Klein. He's available. He's cool.
And like 23.
Oh shit! Right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at that point, they're like 17, 18, right? Analyzation?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Yes.
No.
Because at least in the game, he says he's 19.
Yeah.
17,
but it's
18.
been like 3 days for everybody else.
Yeah. But it's like, whatever. I hate this shit. Just give your characters, like, make your characters go to college.
Kirito is 17 when he goes in. Asuna is 18. Everyone else is around 17. Silica's 15, 16.
Yeah,
and
Silica's a baby. Silica's a baby.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Whatever. That's where everyone's at. And Kirito's brain is like
92.
92.
Yeah.
He's like 200 years old.
Yeah.
A wizard.
But this actual lore is weird as fuck. I mean, like I said, the things that are the anime parts about it are not great.
But the problem at the same time is the score is incredible.
Yeah.
The score for the show is like amazing. And the actual animation quality has gotten very good.
I want to know, so even back looking at what it was back in 2012, I want to know what the fuck Mother's Basement's like barometer of quality was on visual fronts for action. And if it was Cowboy Bebop, fuck off. Like, because that's a whole nother, because he was like, because the first SAO arc, even back then, had really good action. And he was always like, the action scenes are terrible. And I was like, no, I don't think so.
They're a little bit of like Flash without substance.
Yeah,
but the Flash is very flashy.
Yeah, no, it's an anime fight scene.
Starburst stream, it looks good.
I'm just trying to remember what fucking anime was around that could have like knocked it out of the park in any other way. Which the only thing I can think of is like Fate. But like even then, Like,
Well,
once again, like,
well,
apples and fucking oranges, like, come the fuck on. Also, they committed tax fraud to do that.
Yeah, they stole.
They stole.
They stole
That
a
you
lot.
you can only steal. That's the only problem. That being a creator is too fucking expensive. So just steal.
And obviously the other thing, which is what I brought up many times while we were watching it, is that Sword Art is a show about talking. It's not a show about sword fights.
Yeah.
That's going to change very soon when we get there.
Yeah, so the I'm assuming the war arc is coming. I'm assuming that part is still canon. That after, if I'm assuming the administrator
The second
dies,
season is called War for Underworld.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So the war is
There
when it happens.
there will be a war.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. But even where we stopped from here on out, it's pretty much action.
Also, I
backstories.
gotta shout out to everybody who's like in the game squad from
Yeah.
the real world, who's like, yeah, they haven't hit us up in a hot minute, and it's kind of weird. Just wondering about that. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. We'll just keep helping here, and like nobody's like even like Lisbeth, like, yeah, but I'm over in Roppongi. Like, I got shit to do.
The first cutaway in the game after Kirito wakes up is weeks later. It doesn't say a number. It just says some weeks later.
Yeah.
And like, to get anywhere on that map, when you quick travel from one location to another, that's a day trip. Anytime you fast travel, anytime you go out, do one quest, have to go back to Centauria, you go out to Westerith, you go up to Norlingarth. Every time you do that, that's like a week.
Yeah. Because there's no fast travel points in the virtual world.
The Black Swordsman dick must be great.
Dude.
It must be next level.
Dude, like metaphysically, right? Like, cause these girls don't fucking know. They'll never know.
They'll never know.
That I think is also the most like a frustrating thing about the games, is the way that the affinity system works. So I showed people like a small bit. I was like, here's how you talk to girls. You just get up real close to them and smile at them a little bit, and then kind of like occasionally pat them on the head and sniff them.
So
and then if you do it in rhythm with their heartbeat, it makes it better. It's like, what the fuck?
I have unlocked the prize costumes for all main party members.
Including your boy.
Including my boy.
Yeah.
So not only is it a rhythm game, not only is it really weird and like, what is it? It's not story break, but like when it, ludonarrative dissonance.
Yeah, ludonarrative dissonance, yeah.
Not only is it like all of those things, but like, it is also like the most colossal waste of time.
Yeah.
I have ever.
It's physically the worst
part
of
on
that
a
game.
video, I think in total, maybe 4 hours of just smile, hug. Okay, you got to get the music notes and then you got to get the hearts. You got to balance them so you get both bars to go up.
Yeah.
It's like, the costumes are good, some of them. But, I mean, the main reason you do it is for their like...
Their art code.
Yeah, you can basically take their special, like, unique traits and assign them to other characters or yourself, and then use them to program the AI of the characters, which I haven't even touched because apparently it wasn't working and now it might be working. But
so the way that combat system works, all I ever do is I just kind of press LB and cycle through them and just get a chain going. And I don't know, and like since there's only going to be in multiplayer one other person that I have to worry about to do that with, doesn't really matter about the programming of the AI because I'm still the one on board. However, this is kind of the system that I wanted sort of in FF7. That I wanted something similar to that where you could do something like that, where you could program people like that. And I think that'd be really cool to do in 2. So I hope Nomura and his team are like looking and going.
They're all playing. They're all
SAO.
doing raids.
No, I meant like just taking just understanding like what people really fucking want from that game, which is, hey, this was really cool, and we really like.
What they really want it to be is turn-based and not what they did.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what they want.
That is true.
But I've put about 50 or so hours into Lycoris. And
23 for me.
I'm on chapter 4.2.
Right.
The game shows literally no signs of stopping. So I don't know how long this game's going to be. I didn't think it'd be this long.
Those games are fucking long.
They're long. But I'm really enjoying it. That's it.
I'm glad you got your Sword Art.
All I gotta say. Yeah, it's been nice.
I can't wait to play with you.
Very
when
good.
I catch up.
And then, I guess just to finish up Sword Art talk, I'll avoid it for when we get to me. I guess we'll finish watching it as whenever you want. Now that we have Super HD version, and then I'm catching up on the progressive ones. And they're very. You're never gonna be able to put that back. It literally takes me hours to get that sword in her hand. And they were good, and that's it. That's all I really had to add.
It's good.
So what non? Oh wait, the one other thing I was gonna say is the scene with Asuna and her mom in the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I finally brought you to the cabin, and I said, Phil, you don't understand. Sword Art. It's like, yeah, you know, I was trapped in there for 3 rape scene episodes, but
oh man.
but look at all this beauty that we couldn't experience.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, you know, it's interesting. It is definitely not as terrible as people make it out to be, and I think the only reason people made it out to be that terrible is because there was literally nothing else to make fun of. I think it was the Call of Duty effect. You know what I mean? It's the idea.
You described it as the Nickelback of anime.
Yeah.
Which I take minor offense to, but I understand it completely.
Dude, everyone fucked with Hero. Like, when Spider-Man dropped, Hero was the song.
I like
Photograph people fucking make fun of. Photograph was one of the most popular songs. Rockstar. People fucked with Nickelback. It was only some asshole online who said it, and it became like this thing, and everyone had to retroactively dislike Nickelback afterwards because they were like, oh, they're all high and mighty and they know music now. It's like, no, you fucking idiot. You just literally came into a trend, sat there, heard it, and then just fed into it because you were afraid to be that guy. Because that's what fucking society is. It's, I don't want to be that fucking guy who goes, yeah, Nickelback wasn't that bad. But you know what? The whole world's on fire. Nickelback kind of fucks. I'm sorry. They kind of are pretty cool.
That one song.
Do I listen to them now? No.
There's that one song that Chad Kroeger did with Santana. That was like super good that I'll never be able to remember the name of.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. I don't think Chad Kroeger had a terrible voice. I think a lot of people just are fucking mean.
I just think people are mean.
Yeah,
Nickelback doesn't suck. You're rude.
It's like that fucking bit from it's a large comedian dude. He's like, why the fuck's everyone so fucking mean to Guy Fieri? Like, he's not a bad... Like, he literally just, like, goes around, gives these fucking, like, small diners a shot at some national television coverage, and you want to make fun of him because he looks like a backup member of NSYNC. Like, he's got frosted tips, and you want to make fun of him. This man, like, goes out and makes barbecue during the fucking, the California fires...
Yeah,
for all the people. He's kind of a fucking hero. And we're just going to make fun of him because he's got frosted tips.
Yeah. So those are the 3 horsemen. Guy Fieri, Chad Kroeger, and Kirito. No! That's the crew rolling up.
Well, I mean, if you put it all in that fucking... Jesus Christ.
That's the team right there.
Oh... I want a Thought Patrol fucking shot of the, like, yo, Kirito, where's your coat? Hold up.
Yo, where's your flame bowler shirt?
All right, we're ready. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. Everyone is here. Who else? Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's driving in.
I originally thought Kanye West was going to be on that board, but he's just actually crazy.
We remember that we thought that
it was a work.
We thought it was a work. It wasn't a work.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oof.
Sorry, Yeezus.
We were talking about that the other day in our PS4 chat. We were saying like, how the fuck has like everybody just allowed him to do that? And it literally comes down to it's fucking Kanye. Were you gonna tell him no? And you go, yeah.
Hopefully,
Like,
you
no,
would.
hopefully you would.
You
but
would
like,
hope,
but like, there are people who would say it's fucking Kanye, and just like, no matter how many times you try to help the guy, someone is always gonna show up and just be like, nah, dude, I got you.
Nah, man.
Because it's fucking Kanye.
It's fucking Kanye. Yep, you can put the headset on.
Yo, Kirito!
Kanye, if you put that... Just let him do it.
Kirito, where the fuck you at?
Damn.
I'm in this STD.
Man.
STL, that's what they called it.
Man, ordinal scale. If
Huh?
he was the if he was the bard, that ordinal scale movie would have been pretty different.
If Ordinal Scale's final boss ended on flashing lights, like that shit's my jam.
What are you gonna do?
Oh man. Ha! So what else? That's it? Did you play any other video games?
Oh, are we do? I thought that was you.
No, I asked you, and we transformed it into SAO talk.
Yeah. Oh, I only brought that up because we had both been playing and watching it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll keep going then.
I can keep talking about Sword Art if you want, but
Oh God.
I can tell you about the book. But
is that like all you've been doing? All you've been listening to?
No. I mean, I've been listening to some stuff. I've mostly been retooling the stream playlist. I got to figure out how to put all the Castlevania music in.
Cool.
And I've been listening to that new opening on loop. Oh, as far as listening goes, and it ties into what I watched.
Okay.
Was that brand new Animal soundtrack?
Ooh.
Is really good.
Trigger's just really good at doing that now.
They got some good soundtracks. That was a good show. Do you like Trigger? Have you seen Trigger?
Mm-hmm.
They did it, but with animals. That's like Trigger's like. It's not like junk food, but you always know exactly what you're gonna get, and like they knock it out of the park every time. And the thing they do every single time is really good.
What is a fast food joint? Zaxby's.
Zaxby's.
Because I was gonna say Olive Garden, but Olive Garden is like universal
because
denial.
Zaxby's is also like a very
or PDQ. You ever been to PDQ? That place is fucking awesome.
No, I haven't.
It's pretty good.
I've heard of it.
It's like good food, fast service. It's not healthy. But fuck you, you're gonna enjoy it the whole way through. Whereas, like, if you eat a Big Mac at like McDonald's,
would I call Zaxby's? Would I see like the kickin' chicken sandwich doing the Gynax pose?
Yeah,
though? Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I wouldn't call Zaxby's flashy.
So what's a flashy like fast food place? Because that's I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It's like comfort food, but instead of like getting comfortable, you want to yell. Like, you know?
That's something. There's somewhere out there.
There's a place.
There's Earl of Sandwich.
There's a food.
Yo, Earl of Sandwich fucks. I'm upset that the only place that we can get Earl of Sandwich is at a fucking airport
or on on I-4.
On I-4. Like, fuck off.
Any rest stop with the big Mickey Mouse up front. It's like,
God,
I'm just trying
Earl
to
of Sandwich fucks.
I'm just trying to spend $25 on a ham and cheese. Come on.
But it's a fucking good
It's a good ham and cheese. But yeah, I watched BNA, very good, and then I finally opened that Gurren Lagann Blu-ray set I've had.
Cool.
And just watched the last episode and cried because I had never seen that show at above 480p in my life.
And it looks amazing.
Looks pretty amazing. So when we're done with Sword Art,
that's it.
That's it. And I rewatched Premiere on my TV in the comfort of my home. But I did try to find a couple that could talk into my ear. I looked up just couples talking ASMR and held my phone up to my ear for the real theater experience. and wasn't able to find it. So I watched it without that.
Is he gay? Are they gay? What do you mean it's implied?
No. It's the opposite. It's couple that has seen the movie already. What was it? There was one thing they did for like the first half, and it pissed. I had never been that angry in my life.
They were just cheering.
No, what was it? When someone got hit, you'd say it. It was like a couple months ago.
Fuck, what was it?
You remember, guys? YouTube comments.
Yeet.
No, not yeet, but it was yeet. It was a yeet, but you hit somebody. Like you get duffed, you know? Like what?
Fuck, what was it? I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's somewhere along with the trigger of fast food restaurants. They're both in the same spot. They're in the same place.
But when we were all in that large group that watched Premiere, we got to be the Fujoshis.
Yeah.
During the scene when
That's
I yelled
right, while
out,
I was at work.
"Kiss him, you idiot!"
While I was at work crying.
Oh.
Alone.
But then I saw it again with you.
We watched it for the first time, and then you guys went and saw it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good movie. Very good.
Good movie.
Was there anything else? Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. I played it a bit more, but much like that game, I don't really have anything to say.
Oof.
Yeah.
So you went from being like, it's just better than Breath of the Wild to now it's over on the shelf.
No, it was. I still think I like it more than Breath of the Wild for sure.
Right.
But it's like visuals. It's a 10 out of 10. Like gorgeous. Otherwise, it's like a 7 out of 10 game that doesn't go up or down, with no surprises and no. At least where I'm at, which is saved my uncle, heading back to reclaim my family armor. Nothing has really changed that much.
So it's exactly what I said. It's an open world game that does all the open world game stuff, but it does it really well, but not anything new to where it's going to require me to be like, I need to play this now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
It's like no rush.
Like, because when I saw the beginning, I was like, the only thing that I took away from it was, this looks fucking incredible, and the art team deserves every bonus they could get.
The sound design is really good. Like, from a presentation standpoint, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But like story wise, we gotta go get the Mongols.
It's a video game.
Oh no, the Straw Hat Ronin betrayed us.
Who knew?
Like, the thing that is consistently like blowing my expectations away is you go and you do a side quest because you want like a long bow.
Right.
You see it's like, oh, new weapon type. Let me go get that. Mm-hmm. And it turns into like a 3-hour separate movie with like multi-stage boss fights that happen in these cinematic fields of flowers. And I was telling you about there's like a stealth armor set you get, and before you can get no, it was the longbow, and the bow is cursed apparently. And before you can you pick up the bow and you black out and you wake up and a Tengu man is challenging you to a fight, and he says, I have to kill you before you unleash the evil of the bow upon Japan. And you fight him in a field of red flowers surrounded by a tornado of crows.
How is that considered 7 out of 10 then?
Because like
it's still the same combat system.
Because the presentation is incredible.
Yeah.
And then you do the combat and it's armor break, slash.
Yeah.
And like the duels aren't all that, like when you're managing crowds of people or you're doing the stealth segments, you have a lot to do. But in the duels, it's wait, parry, hard. And they're tough. They are like tough. And they're solid.
So you know what's really shitty
it's
about
a 7
that?
out of 10.
You know what that reminds me of? That's Assassin's Creed combat, like before the new combat system.
I think.
You remember that?
I think Samurai. I hate doing like this kind of comparison, but like Samurai Arkham, it's not that far off.
Yeah.
Because it is a stealth game, so no, it's not like Assassin's Creed ever was. But yeah, like it's never bad, but it's never like blow my mind when it comes to gameplay stuff. It's just like, this is good, this is well done, this works. Even the grappling hook, you get the grappling hook. It's not an amazing grappling hook, it's not a terrible one, but it does what it says. Ghost of Tsushima is a video game where you play as a samurai fighting off Mongols. And that's what that game will be for the whole game.
You know what? After what happened with Last of Us 2, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fine.
I'm going to finish it. The other problem is, like, sorry, but boop, boop, boop. You released at a bad time for Max.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't have anything else to play right now, I'd still be powering through it. But
that might be a game I might be privy to streaming, just because I might just check it out.
Tsushima.
Yeah.
It's a really relaxing game. Because you're exploring, you're following the wind, and then you go and you write a haiku, and then you get a headband that has your haiku in, like, the item description forever.
That's cool.
And then you go and you're like, oh, I'll get a health boost, and you go into the bath, and you reflect on things, and, like, it's a very peaceful game. It's very... That part is cool. But, like, again, aside from presentation being 10 out of 10, the game itself is, like, a 7 out of 10. I don't expect the game to ever go up to an 8 or ever drop to a 6 at any point. That might change. There might be some crazy plot twist shit waiting to happen. But as of right now, if you think about a samurai movie, you're playing that.
Which is great.
Which is great.
For people who want it.
And I do want it.
And a part of me does too. But, like, I'm like, you know.
At the moment, there's other things.
Yeah. And the things, and it's not only other things, but just like, I open world games always, they need something to bring me in, and the only fucking reason that I'm, honestly, SAO storyline is okay. The only thing that's keeping me going is how fucking addictive that combat system is. That combat system is wildly addictive.
For me, there's obviously the other layer of, like, I've read about these places. Yeah. Places that have only been mentioned in one sentence in one book. And it's like, oh, fuck, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Now I have, like, an idea. And also, again, that map is fucking huge.
It's
that
big.
game
it's
is gigantic. Game. Like,
it's a really weirdly big game for being an anime game.
That Aquarius or however you pronounce them are the most ambitious developers working in anime video game adaptations.
You heard it here first, folks. Ghost of Tsushima, kind of okay. SAO, most ambitious title out there.
Yes.
But like, that's true.
In terms of ambition, whether or not it hits that ambition all the time, I don't know about that.
Because here's the thing. Here's what I'm expecting from a AAA studio. Is that. Right? I'm expecting that at the end of the day is a comparable, decent, if not halfway, you know, just okay kind of video game that takes place in an open world. The presentation's incredible. Yeah. The gameplay is suitable.
It's an inoffensive game that somebody at work can come up to you and say, hey,
have you played Ghost of Tsushima?
Have you played Ghost of Tsushima?
That game is so fucking cool.
It's got those Chinese samurai in it. And you're like, no, guy at work. Go back to Last of Us.
Holy shit. But yeah, no, it is the game that, like, when you work at a place where there's nothing but normies, you have that one where you go.
They are water cooler video games.
Yeah, that's probably a genre that just exists now. Where it's like,
did you see Joel?
He died.
Rough time.
Ooh, bet you. I didn't know you were so excited about seeing Joel.
Oh,
you
man.
shouldn't be so excited.
I hope you're not
this
looking
game.
forward to playing golf with them.
Oh, ooh.
Golf with friends.
Man, he's really bad with the tee off. I'll tell you what.
Man, birdie. More like bogey.
Ooh.
More like double bogey.
Double bogey. I've consistently been thinking about that game only because of the fact that it's, in terms of its general, like, cultural, what it's done to people. I mean, in terms of a video game, right? I don't think I've seen this much hatred since Mass Effect 3.
But the thing
is,
it's
like, a part of me is like, I don't think a lot of it's really deserved for the reasons that people are upset about it.
The moment you bring in like the politics part, I think your argument falls apart.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, 100%.
But like from like a story structural, honestly, even like if you were in it and you thought the emotional beats hit for you, I don't get it. But okay, I can understand it, but they didn't for me. But from a structural standpoint, that game makes no sense to me. And it seems like a terrible way to structure your story.
I think the idea is that Neil Druckmann kind of came to it with the concept of like, yeah, you know, what if like we did this and we kind of tried to. What he relied on was something that I think a lot of people who are generally good-natured rely on, and that's the inherent good in people. But that disappears when you're playing video games.
Ellie is it's so much fun to make her kill people.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah, well, not only that, but also the fact of the matter that, I think I showed you the reaction, or I talked about the reaction videos.
Yeah.
Where people, like, there's reaction videos where it's like players reacting to still having to play as Abby during the Abby and Ellie fight. And they are literally running face first into Abby's gunshots. Or Ellie's gunshots and trying to get Abby killed. And it's like, that is such an intense opposite reaction to what you... And the thing is that, yes, that game did well. That game fucking killed in the market right now. But in my head, I'm like, how many people really felt that way
My thing,
in the grand scheme?
If you're not... And I assume...
Because, like, it seems to me like more... Like, I like to say, like, okay, vocal minority is always going to be the loudest fucking people in the room.
And
no matter
we're
what.
going to be louder than them.
Yeah.
Us.
Right.
The two of us, specifically. But right below us...
is the vocal minority. But, like, the more you see about, like, what that game represents to so many different people, it does seem like inherently like they completely miss the idea of, like, Joel's death. Because, and you know what what I figured was the biggest issue was because she does it right after he saves her.
Yeah.
Had that been a thing where he just found him, or like that was it, I don't think it would have been a big deal, as big of a deal as it is.
Yeah. And she doesn't even like. There's no like contemplation of like, well, he did just save me. Maybe we should hear him out for a second.
So. God, this is going to require some time. But all I'm going to say is this. Well,
we've talked at length about.
Yeah, me and him have both sides of that, but like we've talked about like what can possibly change. To the point where I have an entire like structure now of what exactly the game could be. Had it been written in a way that was like feasible for a mainstream audience and yet still within the realm of possibility. And like the two biggest choices for me were, you don't play as Ellie. You don't play as her at all. You give players choice. Like, you play as Abby, and Abby gets to choose. And, like, it doesn't have to be, like, dialogue trees. It literally just particular junctures in the storyline that you go, save, do not save. Kill, do not kill. Yeah. Can I have, like, a more organic storytelling experience by your actual actions being done? And because at the end of the day, what they wanted was they wanted Abby to be the new fucking protagonist. Yeah. Like, really, that's what they wanted, because they wanted Ellie to kind of come off as, like, a piece of shit. And at the end of the day, they succeeded real hard in the Ellie thing. But, like, with Abby, I think they relied on people's inherent, like, need to be like, oh, well, there's got to be a reason. It's like, no. They had a whole game.
Joel was on the cover of the last game.
Yeah, you had a whole game to play with this guy, and you unceremoniously fucking killed him from someone's perspective who, at this fucking juncture, we're not even sure why.
I don't even remember her name yet.
Yeah, so, like, you know, and then you gotta turn around and tell us, like, halfway through the game, we have to play as her and learn? Like, why couldn't you just tell me that in the beginning? Why couldn't you just let me play this part first?
Yeah.
It's in the game. Why not just let me play this part first, and then right before that happens, cut to Ellie and then play Ellie? But in my head, I had a whole thing where it's like, I think that the whole structure of the game would have been far better suited towards like understanding and like storytelling, is if when at that point, at that juncture, he asked them, you guys should come up with us to go restock and reorganize. Mind you, this is after the fact that like one of her friends, Owen, tells her, "Hey, my girl's pregnant. You know, like I don't want a whole lot of trouble right now. Like, you know, we got a lot of things to worry about right now." In my head, you should have forced the player to go, "All right, let's go to your town." And the whole game is about Abby and all of her crew trying to live with the people. With half of them are kind of like, this is fucked, and they're gonna try to instigate shit, and the other half are trying to be like, we need to live for the, you know, for Mel and her baby and and running away from this paramilitary organization that we've all run away from essentially, and then have the ending be between your actions, like Abby either goes towards the guys who are trying to instigate shit and regroups with the paramilitary group, and then they invade it alongside the religious camp that shows up, and so that the ending climax battle is literally 3 factions fighting in the giant fucking city.
Yeah.
And it's like, or Abby like gets with Ellie, and don't tell Ellie what happened. Have Abby be the one to tell Ellie, so it's either a choice of you learn to forgive like I learned to forgive him, or use it to manipulate Ellie into fucking going and killing Joel. There's so many more interesting fucking things that could have done just from that premise alone, just from giving people a choice to fucking sit there and like, bless you.
I guess not. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll stow that
just
one
from
away.
that premise alone, that they just completely sidelined and sidetracked for whatever the fuck this game ended up being. And I've been thinking about it for so much because I'm just like, it was such a like, it's so easy. It's so easy when you think about, like, in that comparison, like, how easy it is to make a character that's likable and yet still in this world, look at that likable character going, you're a fuck up. Because the game does everything in its power to remind Joel he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Every time. There's not one fucking person who agrees with him in universe.
Yep.
If there was one person, like, you have Abby's dad, like the fact that they retconned Abby, like they basically wrote Abby's dad to be like, oh, he's the one who's pushing for the surgery. So not only do I not feel bad about the fucking, you know, the Abby, but like, he's a dickhead and he's just trying to like do this thing that we don't even know is going to work. Right? Where they should have wrote it as like, he's more like, I would never be able to do that to my daughter. And then have the Marlene character that they set up to be a hardcore ice cold bitch already, to be like, get it done, get it over with, and then have him have like I can't imagine traveling halfway across the country with someone just on a hunch. There's something more there, and I couldn't do that to her even if I tried. Like if it like turns to Abby, like if that was you, I'd do everything in my power to get you the fuck out of here, and like. Give him, finally, that fucking thing where it's like, oh, I give a shit about this guy. He's the only guy that agrees with Joel.
No.
Where it's like...
No, the game would rather have you kill someone in a cutscene, and then, like, 8 hours later, you see that person you killed, and they go, look, they were nice. Don't you feel bad for killing them? It's like, no, I didn't
They attacked me!
My controller was on the table. Ellie killed that person.
Also, they attacked me.
They attacked Ellie because my controller was on the table. Yeah. I didn't have any interaction with this.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everyone is sick of hearing about The Last of Us 2.
Oh, well.
Listen, the video game is out, and I'm sure that in a couple more months, you won't have to ever hear about The Last of Us 2 ever again.
No, I think it's going to go down in history as being one of those games that has... How to like monumentally turn a franchise around in one entry, like because it is absolutely it is a thing that's going to be talked about in schools 100%.
But it's like it's a weird 50-50 where it's like you either defend this game till your dying breath, or you are out for blood.
Well, no, I'm not out for blood. I'm not. I'm not a 50-50 guy.
No, but like in general, you go online, like you watch a video essay, and it is a 50-50 shot whether this game fucking sucks or it's just trolls. It's just this game.
Well, actually, no. So a lot of people basically like So I've seen more video essays and more reviews from that kind of community,
Mhm.
and they've come out and said this game looks incredible. All the presentation's great. The gameplay is fantastic. Da 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 da. The story is ass. Like they said, playing the game feels great. Being in the game feels great. The moment-to-moment interactions between Joel and Ellie are great, and the other characters. Some people like the character interactions too. It just comes down to the fact that they mishandled that one particular story notion so fucking terribly, and all that required was a reverse. Like, all you need to do is start the game in reverse. You start as Abby, go down her path. Oh no, this is what happened, and and the thing is, it literally ends on the Joel death. The recollection.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to play as Abby afterwards, but like, it's a perfect send off because it ends right fucking there. So it just to me seems like it's in like a film world, it's a badly edited film. Like, it just doesn't make any coherent sense. It just is poorly edited and has no fucking like the pacing is just fucked because it's trying to make you care about things that at this point you just can't physically.
It's a structural issue.
Yeah. So that's just something like I got my chest.
Besides thinking about The Last of Us Part 2, what else have you did?
Have I did?
What have you been
well, the one thing that I've been done doing is getting back on that PSO2 hype train because of a particular thing that happened. We're going to talk about just a little bit.
Yeah.
At some point, I mean, and I've decided. So originally, I was like, okay, fuck, let's think about what it is I want from the PSO experience, because I'm like, this is pre Xbox Showcase.
Yes.
And going, well, the gun / class is coming. I have a character that I've already worked on for like 200 hours on the Japanese server.
Mm-hmm.
I have money that I spent on that server. I'm going to go ahead and stick with Japan because I don't know what their plans are, and I don't know what they're going to do, anything to release it on their platform that's viable that people can actually fucking download it and play it on, and won't have to deal with the Microsoft shenanigans again. So there's that fucking, old chest on. I'm just like, I felt really bad because there's this whole community that we created that also can't play the game. And it was sucked because I remember that day waking up in the morning and everyone's playing PSO2 all together, and that's a feeling like unlike anything. Like, having an MMO where tons of your friends are playing together is unlike anything ever. It is such an amazing feeling. You were like, you're gonna go in the casino? We're gonna go fucking kill some monsters. Like, cool, we'll come back. We'll reconvene here.
It was a very cool, probably only 3-day period of Discord hopping for almost like 18 hours straight.
Yeah.
And everywhere you went, people were playing PSO2, laughing at the people who went to Ship 2 like the cucks they are. And it was very cool. And
then the fucking Microsoft Nation attacked.
It is probably my biggest disappointment of the year. It's just not being able to play the cool game and having the experience soured. So,
which I 100% believe can come back if you just give it a shot. And when I will tell you right now. I will tell you right now. Don't. Unless you absolutely want to, on the 5th, just wait. Just wait and see if it works. Because here's the problem.
Okay. That's not what I was going to say.
Well, because here's the problem. The issue that I've been hearing is that in order to transfer your account, you need the Xbox version on first. Because it's going to give you a key. And you get that key, you link it to the Steam version, you're good. You never have to deal with the Xbox. The reason why is so you don't have to deal with the Xbox Live API anymore.
But I can't launch the game.
No, you just need the game on installed.
Where do you get a key from?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying wait to figure out how the account link process is going to work.
Then, all right. So
because
if
it is as simple as you need a key, then by all means, everyone keep your version of PSO2 installed so your character can transfer your character. Uninstall the Microsoft Windows version because they are actively trying, because there isn't that fucking origin problem at the bottom. If you look at the fucking Steam store page for PSO2, there isn't that fucking thing where it's like requires third-party DRM. They are trying actively, first of all, because that same day the PSO2 friends list releases. So there's obvious, cause remember the friends list in game is the Xbox version. So obviously they're trying to get away from the whole API itself. So this version of the game on Steam is going to be the version that is like, this is PSO2 alone, standalone.
So this is the absolute last chance.
100%.
I'm trying one
for this one.
No, I
for
don't.
this one.
No, I don't.
Come
care.
on.
I don't trust them. If this is no Microsoft involvement at all. This is all them, and I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyways, but if I still have to install a launcher, if it really is just like,
well, okay, but that's
original.
The thing.
Here's news story.
If you install the launcher and the launcher still works, I think the issue was the mingling between the fucking because fucking Xbox. We know the Microsoft Store doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years.
But like I installed it with the tweaker, like. Entirely
but it still requires API.
So that's what I'm saying is if I download the Steam version and it doesn't have all that baggage and I launch this if I try to play this game for a third time even if the launcher pops up, like if it still requires a launcher. No, if it requires a launcher that works, that's fine.
Okay,
the launcher part's not what I care about.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not expecting to hit play and then the game starts.
No,
that doesn't happen.
So from what the Phantasy Star Fleet, the guys who are behind like Arcslayer and the Tweet and the Tweaker, they're trying to get away from integration, and they sat there and said, okay, the integration might require the API for right now, so no one uninstall Xbox Windows. Just so we figure out how the account link is going to happen. Okay. And then when the account link finally happens, they said that because they already looked at the code, apparently they already saw the code. So they were like, okay, it looks like none of the Xbox Live API is here. So they are absolutely trying to remove themselves from the Microsoft Store. And if that's the case, which they said with the new thing coming out, that will also be released on this platform too. And I think that one has a Steam page as well right now. Mm-hmm. They said if that's the case, all you need to do is get that thing they want you to get, because I think it needs to pick up the fact that that character is somewhere on your hard drive. So yes, for right now, you have to install PSO2 twice and then go uninstall it from what they're saying. Which, you know what? That small growing pain, I'm fine with. If it just means I can go back and install the Steam version and it works just fine. The only reason I'm not I want to wait to see what they're doing with the tweaker, because on the tweaker I'm still using it for the Japanese version. Yeah. So which is literally in my fucking thing, it's a drop down menu of North America, Japanese, boom boom, get on whenever I need to. It's great. It works incredible. So Sega should have really just gotten with those fucking guys to figure shit out. 100%.
That's the other thing, and I will say that is that if I do all this stuff and I go to Steam and it downloads the PSO2 launcher and I hit play and it doesn't launch, I'm giving up on Phantasy Star Online 2 forever, but I am going to send those tweaker guys like $50 just for their service. Because, fuck, man. Working with this shit, God bless.
Yeah, no, they deserve all the support and all the fucking, things that they require, man. So I've been playing that, just trying to get back on and getting my dailies done. The problem with where I'm at in PSO2 Japan and USA is that in North America, we don't know what the end game is, because the end game is a mess. Because it's got content from episode 3, 4, 5, and 6 all mashed up into one patch, but you can't do story-based stuff or go to certain areas that are in these next episodes. And it's using episode 6 balancing and a whole bunch of other shit. Yeah. So the North American endgame, also super hard, is still broken. So super hard's HP values are elevated above extra hards. So if you don't have equipment, which they turn around and tell you on super hard, you can start super hard at level 50. Level 50 equipment's not going to be the same as level 75 endgame equipment. You are not going to be hitting as hard, and it fucks up terribly. So hopefully they change that, and if they don't fix that in the North American release, at the very fucking least, people can still do the very hard AQs, and it's going to introduce the new bonus quests, which are godsends for leveling up. Bonus quests are immediately the coolest thing, because all it is basically it's a room, and in this room, if you get three kinds of keys, either a silver, a gold, or a rainbow key. Silver key is obviously the lowest amount. You're guaranteed 1,000,000 XP every single fucking time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Gold key is 2 million. Rainbow key is at least like 3 to 5 million. And at high levels, you're going to require, I think, from 75 to 80 is about like 8 million plus. So,
I mean, that's a lot.
It's
of
a lot.
Experience.
It's a lot of experience, but like with those, the idea is that your dailies, every single daily that you do, like your dailies and your weeklies, will gift you keys
that you could go and
you
do
can go
bonus
and do
missions.
bonus quests on. So
That's good.
because that's the way it's been. That's the way leveling's been working in Japan. Unfortunately, I've already run out of all those keys. So either I have to wait for the dailies or the weeklies, or figure out what the fuck the meta is in Japan right now, because there is a large quest going on. But unfortunately, in the ship that we're on, since it's not a popular ship for Japanese players, it's a popular ship for English players, and all the English players are at max level at this point. There's a whole fucking tier of like difficulty that is dead, which is extra hard. Everyone's on ultra hard on level 95. So I have to find a way to get my guy from there to there. And the only thing I'm going to say, the thing it's going to do is when the Gunslash class comes out, every fucking tier is going to open up again for business.
Yeah.
And until then, I'm saving up all the little, because they got a new campaign for the new game they got announced. I'm saving up all for both in the North American version and this one. They're just giving out EXP tickets, and I'm just like, okay, saving them all until specifically for PSO2 is going to be the hero. Probably going to fuck around with hero, see how that's like, because I really like the weapon changing combat system he's got going there. And then for obviously Japan, I'm going to use using Gunslash class. So, who just looks like Sora.
Yeah.
Looks like he plays like Sora.
Well, unfortunately, I guess my character is too cute to not try to get it to work. So, I guess I will be making the attempt again.
Yeah, I saw the look in your eyes when I was talking about all this. You're like, and then you said when you heard I said weapon change gameplay, and I saw you go, oh.
Yeah.
Because you know what, you see it. I've shown you Hero, right?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I know.
I figured out what it was. So what it is that like they all have like 4 to 5 PAs. So there's only like four PAs between all three weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But holding them does different things. So if you hold onto the weapon like art, that art will change into that like another weapon.
Oh. Okay.
So you can have on your 6-button palette, you can have one button dedicated towards on all three weapons, towards that just being changed to this particular weapon. So you can just kind of like do your own combos where you're like going in and out of
doing weapon switching,
so from your sword to your double machine guns to your weird card like tech thing. I forget what it is. It's like a feather fan or something.
But
so.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I get what you're saying. I'm gonna if it doesn't work this time around, I'm gonna just chalk it up to it being a 2012 game. But even then, like, because you know the other thing is too is that the Windows 10 is locked on that one, but like you can use Windows XP and everything else on the tweaker version for PSO2. So like the Windows 10 thing is just a massive, like, it's a Microsoft thing. So
yeah.
I think that hopefully the version we're gonna get finally is gonna be the quintessential PSO2 version.
It's like I can't stress enough. It's not out of me not wanting to play the game.
It is literally just you physically cannot.
My life would be over if I was still able to play that game. Holy shit!
Because not only that, because then the new game that's coming out. When I told you what it was, you were like, so literally what I've always wanted.
Yeah, it is the open world character action MMO. Like every time someone described an MMO to me, I'm like, that sounds lame. And I looked and like, Terra's not it.
No, it's not.
Black Desert Online is not it.
Yeah.
Phantasy Star was it.
Phantasy Star was it, 100%. And then now, from what we've seen with the footage, which I guess we're skipping over, but whatever. Other than that, just Valorant. Honestly, grinding away in that fucking game. The review's almost done, so I'm gonna get that files to you. It's a couple hours of footage, whatever. You'll hobble together something. You do you. You're an editor, man.
That's what I do.
Magic fingers.
Ow.
I'm in a very weird place where I think that game is incredibly fun, but also incredibly fucking frustrating. They just recently had a bug that I'm 100% sure completely fucked over their ranking system to the point where I think that the reset that is happening out of nowhere totally has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Where no matter where you were in your elo, if you lost a game, you got demoted. So people would be losing 3 games in a row and would lose 3 to 4 whole ranks.
Which is bad.
Which is bad.
Okay.
It's very bad.
That sounds bad.
Considering the fact that, like, the way that the system works is you either greatly increase it, slightly increase it, or, like, your rating just increases, like, a moderate level.
Uh-huh.
So the idea that, like, your elo was apparently, like, oh, no, it's just your visible elo.
What?
And you're like, what do you mean? And it's like...
I look like a gold player, but
Yeah.
really I'm a master rank.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's literally what happened. So what happened to me is I got demoted to Gold 1, played a game, it promoted me to Plat again, and I was like, how did that not... Because guess what? It's just your visible rank. It's like, okay, so my visible rank still put me with all these guys.
There shouldn't be 2 ranks.
There shouldn't be 2 ranks.
There shouldn't be a secret rank.
Right.
Like a hidden...
Which has always been a huge issue with these kinds of games, is that there is hidden elo. So your matchmaking game, like, depending on how many times you win it, depending on like how well you do, you have a hidden matchmaking skill-based elo. Which is why when people play with me, like all of our boys, they always ask, can you switch to your alt so that we have regular elo? But now that I've been winning the games on all of our elos, they're matching us with my elo again. So I have to make another alternate account to keep playing with the boys. Or they have to...
I think...
get better.
I think my...
So...
All right, I'm going to acknowledge chat twice in the podcast. I love every time a bot comes in and it's just, want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and views on bigfollows.com. Why would I purchase a Prime subscription for myself? Why would I spend $5 to get $3?
It's the same market that, like, the same kind of people you tap into when you do the IRS scams. Like, yeah, I'll give you the green card full of, like, $300 dollars that I found at a gas station. 100%.
Sure.
Sounds good.
You know what? That prince really is down on his luck. He could use a Twitch overlay.
So you're saying all he needs is $300 and he'll give me $300,000? That sounds great.
You're telling me that Bill Gates, if I give him 1,000 Bitcoin, he'll give me 2,000 Bitcoin?
That
but
doesn't
he
even
wants the Bitcoin first? Bill Gates?
Well, I mean, Bill Gates has never led me wrong.
He must be on some rough times.
Yeah, God.
I gotta help out Bill Gates.
What would happen if Windows just fell apart? And all it takes is 1,000 Bitcoins?
Oh my God. You're telling me that Bill Gates said if you give me 1,000 Bitcoin, he'll fix PSO2?
I was gonna say.
Oh my goodness. Well, Mr.
The Windows Store integration will work?
He'll just remove the Windows Store?
You're telling me that DSP can regain an audience?
You're telling me if I give Bill Gates $600, he'll tell me how much the Xbox Series X costs?
Ooh.
And if I give him another $600, he'll tell me the release date too?
Wow. Now that's a deal.
Xbox not included.
Xbox.
All restrictions apply.
You just kind of get the info.
For more information.
But as a content creator, it's probably gold. I don't know what that's like though. We're not content creators.
No.
Anyways, so other than that,
You played Rogue Company today.
yeah.
But for
so
YouTube, they didn't see that literally an hour ago.
yeah, yeah. So I also played this little shooter game called Rogue Company, which I'd already kind of
For those
fucked
that
around
don't
with.
know, that's the game you didn't care about before they showed Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'd seen it, and in my head, I go, I love Kusoge shooters.
Yeah.
I want to know what that's like. And it just so happens I have a good friend who, just in terms of I don't want to get him in trouble, works over at Hi-Rez, got me a fucking public beta account, and I played that pre-alpha. I thought it was ass. So I was like, I dropped it. Also, they had a really weird and awkward weekend schedule alpha testing thing. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch this for whatever. I didn't sign an NDA, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And I fucking turned around and was like, okay, let me try to play it. And I think what's happening is you can watch Rogue Company streams and do the Valorant thing, where it just appears in your fucking Epic Games library.
I hate that so much.
I'm not a fan of it. I wish that the system would tell me, first of all, what's happening, because I was sitting there going, I'm waiting for my drop, watching the stream happening, and I'm like, okay, and I look and I go, oh, so it's just sitting in there. So it wasn't going to tell me, it was going to make me keep watching this fucking guy who has the personality of a gnat.
Yeah, that's what happened when I got my Hyperscape key. Is I clicked on a stream and I had it on in the background while I was doing something, and you can't mute it and minimize it or the stream will pause and you'll be disqualified.
Yep.
So I'm watching this just dying. I
used to think that our streams were just kind of chilling and not doing anything were bad. We're like top tier content. And I'm not just saying that because I want to be like a piece of shit. I think the fact that like the most popular people who are on this platform have the fucking personality, like just do not have a single shred of personality, is insane to me. It's insane. Like, look, like I said before, I was talking about this on stream. I said, you know what? If Dr. Disrespect is just like he's just like a dude who committed like white collar theft,
yeah.
and that's what the legal drama is, I don't give a fuck about corporations. You know what? Dr. Disrespect was the best thing that ever happened to Twitch. Just saying. In terms of like production value, character, all that shit, he was the only person that had any actual form of personality that wasn't fucking just either traditional streamer person who like is afraid to say anything political in chat or have an opinion because, whoa, I don't want to alienate my fucking audience, right?
I must be number 2.
Ooh.
I must be the second example you're about to say.
No, or the second example, which would be, I meant like the people who are so afraid to say anything about, like okay.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like the people who live and die by their sponsorships, essentially.
Oh.
The kind of people who are like, "What's up, everybody? It's YouTube Gamer Man here. I'm here to tell you all about Ubisoft flew me out to go fly and play some video game that really, for whatever reason, it's a roller derby game, but they've decided to abscond with me and throw me out of a fucking plane, parachuting into a battle royale setting. Not sure how that fit, but you know,
is that actually what that roller derby game is?
No, it's
okay,
just I'm thinking of
I'm
like
you're combining a bunch,
so,
and I figured, but like
because like essentially for like I want to say that was a Capcom did something with Eric's where they kind of like flew them out to just a place where or not Eric, it was either Capcom or like it had to be like Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah,
they flew them out to a place and gave them training for something, and I was like, it's just like the video game. It's like, why do they do that?
guys,
you're just on vacation.
guys, I'll just take a code.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to pay me off to say good things about your game, just buy me lunch and give me a game code. You don't have to fly me anywhere and it's the new Far Cry's coming out, so we're dropping Max on an island and leaving him for dead.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and say real quick. I know that seemed like a slight at Eric's Gaming. No, I love Eric's Gaming. I think in terms of like, he's like what I would consider a mainstream Havian would be, 100%. Because he actually covers all the games that people are playing.
Yeah.
Whereas Havian is just, I really like Sword Art and some
And-
anime
and-
RPGs and Bandai Namco, and that's about it. Like,
I saw Javian's face in
Yeah?
one of his videos recently.
yeah, how's he look?
Not like what you expect,
That's normally how that works. Like, my name is
but like
Bife.
really not like what you expect.
Oh, that makes me.
He's a handsome man.
Oh,
He's a handsome man.
I never thought
And
he
he's-
was ugly.
And he sounds handsome. No, that's not like the part that trips you up.
Yeah.
That's not like the shocking
Is
part.
he like? Is he exceedingly handsome? Is he hot?
No, but he's handsome.
He's
like,
handsome,
Like
okay.
I'm not swapping teams, but
Because I'll tell you what, when we were remember FF7, we saw Barrett. We were like, oh fuck.
Barrett's
hot.
No, Barrett's hot.
Yeah.
Barrett is hot. Barrett is for sure hot. He's got daddy energy.
Yeah, hella daddy energy.
Yeah, he's got that amputee daddy energy going on. But what were we talking?
Anyways, it's like so there's either those kinds of people, right,
Yeah.
or the other one, which is they sit in front of a camera, and like and occasionally something funny will happen to them by proxy.
There is a clip from the stream yesterday or 2 days ago. I was playing Super Mario 64, and I was talking about this exact thing of like when I turn the webcam on, I'm not playing up the streamer personality, but I am at least trying to make the webcam exist there for a
Valuable,
reason.
right?
And there was a part where I increased the webcam to take up 25% of the screen, and I just sat slack-jawed fighting Bowser, and just every now and then I'd go, I really like Bowser because he's orange. And like,
And I
because-
I don't want to come out and like immediately fucking defend like just shit all over every person who does that, but like
know what your strengths are as a creator and play to those strengths.
I don't think people consider themselves to be creators or people like. If you're going to engage in something, I at least like people who talk to the stream. You know what I mean?
Something.
Some fucking thing.
Other
like,
than when someone follows.
right.
Don't just read your stream alerts.
If you're not opinionated and you're afraid of being opinionated, okay. Well then, I guess figure something out.
You
and
gotta
then,
at least play the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse character then that
Yeah.
you are. You're,
Yeah, you got to do something,
You gotta-
fucking something, bro.
You gotta be something. Okay, so I'm not gonna say the name of this channel, but I'm subscribed to this channel on YouTube. I've been watching their videos, and I've never, like a junk food content. Like I would consider like game theory is kind of just junk food content.
Yeah.
But it's still really well put together and well edited, and it's consistent and whatever. But like
You're right. Game theory is the trigger of YouTube.
Ooh. Oh, the podcast is over now. But it's like junk food where there is still like a level of even like ironic enjoyment that you can get out of it.
Right.
But there is a channel whose videos I've been watching, and they Monday through Friday they upload a video, and it is like I have no feelings. I put it on because I need to see colors and hear sounds. And that is the only thing I can say about this.
It's the modern day equivalent of turning on a random channel on your TV and just kind of having it play in the background for like nothing's happening.
But like
a directed experience of that.
Yeah.
Well, like in the same vein that like what G4 ended up being at the end of its fucking heyday, right? Where it was like occasionally I'll sit down and watch the episode of Cops or Cheaters, but that's all it's there for.
But even then, you could argue that you're getting like a new experience out of it. Of like, I don't know how this Cops episode will end.
Right.
Like there's not even a level of intrigue about like where the video could go. Like it is literally just you start the video, and like this person isn't going.
Would
to
I
say,
know this person?
No, probably not.
Can you mute it and tell me?
You wouldn't know. I don't even think you would know their name. But they've been making videos about Recently they just have this series about it's in Smash Melee, and it is characters doing other characters break the targets. That's it. That's all the video is. It's not the first channel to ever do that, but it's like, all right, I'm gonna play as Mario. I'm gonna see how many of the other characters break the targets they can do.
All right.
And you start that video, and you're like, Mario can't do this one, and he can do all the other ones. I know it. I've hit play and I know it. And you watch it, and you don't learn anything. Nothing surprises you. I wouldn't call it commentary. There's just words occasionally. Sometimes it's the same statement every time. Like, the ice climber stage is really cool because it looks like ice climbers. For like 10 videos straight.
That sounds like a performance piece channel at that point.
It, but you would think. But I've seen fucking all of them.
Right.
Because it's like, there's nothing else right now. but like I watch it, it's like, I don't hate this. I don't like it. I'm not gonna stop watching it because I've already hit play, and the feeling of apathy is so strong that I can't even work up the energy to turn it off.
You know what
now
my
that it's
equivalent
on.
is? I know what my equivalent is. I will turn on streams in other languages, and I will just watch, and I will just see both and my experience is looking at the chat and seeing what they're saying.
It's like, I don't know what that says.
And then hearing, and let me tell you something. The fact that Russian people just seem like they don't stop talking is insane to me. That language doesn't have a period.
No, you are thinking too much already. You have had.
Okay.
I'm talking. Has there ever been like any like a piece of content, a food that you've eaten, a music you've listened to?
That's the equivalent of literal static.
That is the equivalent of brain death, of just zero thought. You have zero thought consuming this.
There's got to be something.
Like, because, hey, listen, watching things in other languages and not understanding any of it, I'm getting a lot of VTuber videos related to me, and I kind of get it now.
So I guess the only equivalent would be it's the same thing. It's like a Russian stream, but they're playing casino games. And I'm not, and it's really like, I want to say I'm thinking, I want to say there's a thought process, but I put it on and I just watch, and I don't.
Do you feel the experience of your eyes glossing over?
No, not only, but you know me. It's not just that. It's I'll sleep.
No.
Like my brain will just. It's not even like a boring thing. It's just like I literally. I pass in it, so it's worse when you have like narcolepsy at this point, because I'm sure it's what I have from those fucking sleep apnea. Is I'm fading in and out, so I'm dreaming that this is happening, and it's not.
This is a different thing, but it's just as interesting.
Okay, so for me, the weird thing I've been noticing that's been happening.
Do you want to know what my equivalent to that was?
Sure.
Remember when I drank all that plum wine?
Yeah.
I watched Cheat Pop and Omni play a match of Dota 2. And like 45 minutes in, I couldn't even tell I was a person anymore. And then I went to sleep like in my chair, and I woke up the next day, and they're like, "Yeah, that match was like an hour and a half long." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Could I have even maintained my physical form for that long?"
So I'm sitting there, and the one thing, because it's always like when you're up early in the morning and you have access to Twitch, like as you do when you're home and there's like you're on your day job. And you're like, I just need something in the background. I need something to just kind of like while away. And I'm curious, so because the just chatting tab is always on and popping at this particular time.
Like 400,000 viewers for some reason.
So I show up, and it's the same fucking dudes. It's the same Russian dudes who I don't know their names.
Tank top, muscle shirt, right?
Well, no. Like some guys will just show up and like kind of dress relatively dapper. And they'll just be sitting there playing gambling games online. But the way that the Russian language works is that it feels like it doesn't stop. So what ends up happening is I'm already kind of sleepy because my life is perpetual fucking exhaustion. So I'm hearing this man talk, and I'm slowly getting Russian sleep experimented on because I'm fading in and out, and my eyes are closed, and I still see the screen, and I'm seeing him hit the lever.
You know what?
And he's still fucking talking.
I think I know what it is. I think they know you're watching, and they're trying to figure out your activation words. I think they're trying to get you
looking for my fucking Cerberus code.
Yeah, yeah. They're trying to get you on that American Ultra shit.
Yeah.
Trying to switch. Oh my god, I can't believe I pulled that one out.
Yeah, MK Ultra. Holy shit.
No, have you ever seen that movie, American Ultra?
That's the one that was Jesse Eisenberg,
Jesse
right?
Eisenberg?
Yeah.
I got tricked into going to see that movie.
Oof.
I can't even remember who I saw it with. I have no recollection.
That's your American Ultra. That's it.
American Ultra was
where's the American Ultra? Because you don't even remember what the fuck you watched. You left that movie theater not knowing you just massacred a whole entire fucking
I remember
monarchy.
the movie vividly, but I remember me in a black void, and it was just me in the screen. I went with somebody. Somebody talked me into it, but I don't know who it was, and I can't think of who it could be.
Imagine being so forgettable. Like, that's the experience you have with the
I
person.
I remembered American Ultra more than I remembered
that fucking guy.
That guy. Guess what? If that guy dragged me to American Ultra, he wasn't worth remembering.
Yeah, 100%. 100 fucking %.
Damn. That's gonna haunt me. All right, so I have Super Smash Brothers Melee break the targets.
And mine is Russian Casino Man who doesn't stop fucking talking.
And you know what? The weirdest part is how, like, out of date the commentary is, despite, like it's not someone who plays Melee.
That's why I'm saying it's got to be like a fucking work. There's no way.
No. Maybe it is, because in a video, he recently got to Jigglypuff.
Uh-huh.
And he started talking about HBox.
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, HBox is like a really good player. I love watching his matches. I saw a documentary, he's a really hard worker. And it's like, you haven't been on Twitter, have you, buddy? You haven't been bebopping around Twitter.
No.
You exist in a void, and then my void encompasses yours, and I'm looking into your void.
Witnessing someone else's complete and utter ignorance while you are so blissfully, unblissfully aware.
It's me
miserably aware is what I would say.
It's me at 4 a.m. eating a bowl of mac and cheese, of which I'm lactose intolerant, watching this negative content.
You physically draining your brain of necessary information. You're also slowly breaking your body down.
It feels, when I'm sitting, it feels like I'm the content for the video. You know what I mean? It feels like it's taking my entertainment. Like it's picking it up through the Amazon Alexa remote.
It's a two-way mirror on the other side. It's people watching a mukbang of a really depressed young man.
Yeah, but it's not the guy making the video. It's the video itself. It is the abyss staring back at me, eating my bowl of Kraft mac and cheese.
God. I only I'm glad you have those kinds of experiences with something as wholesome as that. Because the only time I ever get like anywhere near like abyss stares back at me is when, like, sometimes I'll go down like particular YouTube rabbit holes where they have these drama channels, and they'll always be like, yeah, this is what happened to this person. And there's one particular one that it was a 2.5 hour long journey of pure and utter disgust, to the point where it just became fucking like I just blacked out. I feel like, because I did the thing where I fall asleep and I wake up and I have miserable dreams the whole fucking time. And and it's by this YouTube creator called Cecil McFly, and it was called "Don't Mess with Dogs: A Zoo Sadist Story." And it's about a crew of furries within the furry community that were very popular, who were zoo sadists, who that's the concept of like not only fucking animals but torturing them for sexual pleasure. And that was a looking into the abyss and staring and having it stare back at you, and it's wearing a fursuit.
Yeah,
like
no one's been in a fursuit yet.
Yeah,
mine.
so I'm glad that yours has just hit the target, because mine has reached levels of fucking like Jesus Christ. That's where humanity is really like.
But again, it's so hard. I'll show you one of his videos after this.
Okay,
but I can't stress enough. At least there is like abject horror. That is an emotion that you felt.
Yeah.
You felt something.
Yeah, what you're describing is the literal equivalent of you turning on a TV and watching static.
No, it's the equivalent of sitting in front of a TV that's turned off. No. It's even worse. It's sitting in front of like you cut out a piece of black construction paper, because if the TV's off, you can see your own reflection.
It's a facsimile.
You can see yourself in a turned off TV and make a face. That's not what this is. That's too much. It's a black square of construction paper on a wall.
Are you sure you haven't found your Cerberus code?
Maybe.
Yeah, like I'm worried that I'm going to turn to you and you're going to become a drolling, duping mess.
Yeah, it's every time they get to Jigglypuff stage. Can they do it? No. Jigglypuff can fly. 26 episodes.
What the fuck were we talking about? Oh.
Do you know what this is? Fuck the news.
Yeah, fuck the news.
Fuck the news. What other weird mental places have you gone recently?
Dude, wait, have we talked about this before? How the fucking dreams in the quarantine, like during the quarantine era, are so much more vivid? Do you have that yet or no?
No, because I don't dream.
You don't at all?
No. I don't have dreams. I don't know. Because before I go to sleep, all of my dreams are taken from me by the Jigglypuff Young Link Smash Targets guy.
And somehow it auto plays into the Breath of the Wild dude every single time.
I'm so happy that hasn't happened recently. I have not woken up because I think I ran out. I think I saw all of them in my sleep.
Holy fucking shit, bro.
No.
Oh man.
No man, I hit myself with the dream sponge before I go to bed.
Oh, dude.
I have dreams sometimes, but like it's only when I sleep for way too long. And I always feel sick when I wake up.
I feel like we've discussed this on like a stream before, but not like on a podcast.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we did this last podcast, but so you don't dream at all.
No.
You don't even remember the last time you dreamed. That's almost better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm sure I do and just don't remember them, but like I usually only have dreams if I sleep anywhere from like 8 to like if I get a normal night's sleep, I guess, by most standards.
Right.
But the problem is like I never do that because if I need to sleep for like 4 to 6 hours. If I sleep for more than 6 hours, I feel sick when I wake up.
You want to know what's a real hellscape I've discovered with my sleep apnea? So I've been trying to get more sleep. And what's been fucking that up, because like basically in order to like kind of live, I've only been like, okay, I'll get like 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of okay. But like when I've been trying to give myself more, and if I don't get in a particular, it has to be like lying on my side, like with 2 pillows, and that's it. If I'm not in that position, I'm not getting any fucking sleep. But what I've discovered now is that now I'm dreaming while I'm still fucking like watching something. Oh. So what I'll do is I'll set my fucking TV, my computer up, and I'll start watching something. And then life with apnea and narcolepsy, I guess, is the kind of concept of you just kind of dip in and out, like you saw me earlier.
Yeah.
Like you just woo. But since I dream hard, I dip in and out, and it's me literally getting in and out of REM state like that quick.
Oof.
So what's happening is that I'm feeling my body reacting to certain dreams to where I'm waking up grabbing in the air. That's never happened to me before. So now my body isn't fully shutting down, but it's reacting. So if you were to watch me sleeping without being completely asleep, you'd see me like I'd feel myself talking in real life and go, "You're still awake, idiot. Go to sleep."
So that does remind me, I don't get to have the full dream, but what I can say for sure is that I get to experience just the 1 second before you hit the ground.
Oh, wow.
So I will have no dream, but I'll
yeah. So you have the fucking terrifying comeback. The Inception drop.
I don't fall. Just imagine imagine you're like laying on the ground and you like lift your head up like a centimeter and you let your neck relax. But imagine just doing that slight motion. It lasts that long, but it has the impact of like a skyscraper. As I jump and I'm like, oh, the puppet's talking about Zelda again. And that's how I wake up. That's what I do.
Oh, man. My dreams have been like a fucking canister for someone's like a repository for someone's broken anime ideas. I swear to God, because there are things that I finally wrote one down the other day when I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. It seemed cool. So I tried to recollect every single thing. So I wrote it down. Two individuals looking for a change in their life inexplicably get tied together when running alongside one another unknowingly. Suddenly, a link forms between the two of them, and they transform into older versions of themselves, fighting and racing against interdimensional beasts in a dangerous Grand Prix that doubles as a treasure hunt. Now the two have to work together to ensure they both stay alive in the world and the world of the hunt. And that was a dream I had. I woke up, and that was the small bit that I got from it. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, that was, and that's the kind of shit that I have. Like, and the last stream before that I remember vividly was the one where there are aliens going to invade. It's the end of humanity because they're saying humanity is going to end. We're going to recombinate your DNA into something entirely different. Don't even fucking bother. So everyone's like, okay, we're done. We're going to just fuck it. We'll experience this new life into becoming whatever they want us to become. And then the day comes and nothing changes. And this is after everyone has like given all of their shit up. Everyone has done. So it's like a rapture that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So like the dream was people I ended with me dealing with like the riots and the shit happening because of all that stuff going on. And like these dreams have never happened to me before. Like until
what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I've never had a dream that vivid ever.
Yeah.
Every time I've had a dream, it's either just been like just a day in the life but slightly more disappointing,
right?
Or, and I've said this before, when I was younger I had a weird thing with loading screens where I would have nightmares where there was this sense of dread. There'd be a TV in whatever room I was in. Usually I was stuck in that room and I didn't know what was going to happen, but as soon as that loading bar completed, something bad was going to happen.
That's actually terrifying.
Yeah, and
that's a terrifying concept, actually.
And I can tell you, I can name some of the loading screens. One of them was the Jeremy McGrath Dirt Bike PlayStation 1 loading screen. Can tell you that one for free. One of them was not Ridge Racer, Test Drive for the PlayStation 1. A lot of PlayStation 1 games, but not any of the spooky ones.
Well, you know what the fucking thing is that the PS1 era graphics lie in this weird, I wouldn't say uncanny valley, but like it's you can't replicate it. When you do, it's fucking strange.
They're disturbing. But it was never, but it was always like Jeremy McGrath versus Ricky Carmichael freestyle motocross. Like it was never like I've talked about like Spider-Man and Monster Ock like terrifying me as a kid. It was never that.
Yeah.
It was Test Drive loading screen because I remember there was a Dodge Viper and it had the Viper emblem.
Right.
And it was a loading screen, which were the two scariest things are snakes and progress bars. And so that fucked me up as a kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I had one nightmare where I fell into the Jack Dark Eco whirlpool. I remember that distinctively.
I think I've talked about this nightmare before, but like I'm seeing all over there. Thanks for the original screenplay, sucker. Delete the VOD. This episode never happened. I mean, whatever, man. It used to. I think it's just because of the fact that I was like a writer back in the day, so I used to have like I still have those like ruminations of like
You have an
things.
imagination.
Yeah, yeah. So
for
like,
me, it's like I don't know, just stick Ricky Carmichael in there.
it's a little fucked up.
And Jeff Gordon, he drives the.
Well, because it's I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that happen to me like subconsciously that it just let shit kind of like influenced by certain bits of media. Like I think I was watching Redline beforehand when I went to sleep that day.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and it was like, okay, Grand Prix. And I remember vividly these two people who was a boy and a girl, and it's literally they're running, and this sort of weird spiritual link kind of between like appears between them, and they become like they're already like in high school. They become older versions of themselves, but they're in a different world, and both of the worlds are going in between each other.
Yeah.
And it's two people I've never met in my entire life. So I barely remember their faces, but they were tangible people. Like, because I knew there were some people that I knew that were showing up in the dream that were people that were friends of mine and shit like that. But I was just like, I haven't seen them in fucking years. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? That my subconscious is like, here's this weird anime plot. Also, you want to hear about where your friend, like, fucking Steven's been for fucking 7 years? Like,
No. I do remember one other. I'm gonna call it a bit. It's a bit that my subconscious played on me.
yeah.
And that was during the entirety of high school. Almost every morning, I would have a dream about waking up and going to school and nothing weird happening. And then I'd oversleep by like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because
that happens.
Because I'm like, oh, I already woke up.
Waking dreams are totally a big thing, yeah, and those suck dick.
Yeah,
Those
but it
are
was
absolute progress killers.
But it was like the only dream every day, only on school days.
Listen, I can tell you right now that the trade-off when you have like dreams that vivid that you can remember shit like that, the trade-off is the nightmares are so much
the bad
more
ones
intense.
suck. Yeah,
the nightmares are literally like. I remember there was one where it had like I was like walking alongside some guy, and I just was watching him commit awful, atrocious acts to people, and it was all like things that I could not physically stop him from doing.
Yeah,
and it was people I've never met in my entire life, and I was just like, what the fuck was that about? To the point where I woke up just like. Ugh, like just fucking like grossed out and like shaking. I was so fucking like, because it's like, you know, I don't fucking go to Live Leak, but to say that I haven't seen, like, there's a couple of fucking videos that they put on Facebook occasionally where they're just like, how does this get away from the censors? But okay, whatever.
yeah.
And you don't know it until it happens, right?
You
And
never
like,
know it's one of those.
Yeah,
too
until it
late.
happens. Like the Mexican cartel one was not great. Where you
Yeah.
watch a man get his head fucking chainsawed off, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's not great. And it's just like, you think about that, and it's like, okay, I'd rather the dumb anime plots where like the weird alien stories happen more so than like fucking nightmare fuel that actually occurs, because that sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes I'll just wake up from nightmares that are so bad, and then the waking dream thing happens where like I'll wake up and I'll see it. I'll see whatever's there. Like for a split second in the real world, and I have to blink really fast to get it out of my fucking vision.
Yeah.
So it's like, ugh.
Oh, okay. All right. So when I first moved here, I had like it only happened for a little bit, and I don't know if I either was dreaming that I was waking up,
Right.
or if it was sleep paralysis.
Right.
But the amount of times where like I'd be having a nightmare, and I know I was having a nightmare, and I can't remember what they were, but they were spooky, scary.
Right.
And it's like I desperately want to wake up, and then I'd wake up, but like I couldn't move, so I could like feel myself going back to sleep. And in my brain, I'm like, don't go back to sleep, because you're just gonna continue that dream.
Yeah.
And the brain was like, nah. We're going back to sleep.
Yeah.
And like it looped for like hours. I don't know why. It was when I first moved up here, and like doesn't happen anymore.
No, I know the ones you're talking about. The ones where you're like,
Where you open your eyes for like a second. It's like, oh, thank God I woke up.
I'm so tired. I can't go to sleep because I know if I do, I'm going back in. But if I don't sleep, I'll die. So
it was less that and more like it is I can't move. My eyes are closing again.
Yeah.
I can't open them again. I guess it's time for round 2.
Dreams are fucking spooky, man.
Dreams are spooky.
Dreams are spooky
I'm so
as
happy
fuck.
I cut that shit out.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, like I said, I'll show you this channel. You'll never have another dream again.
Fuck yeah. I guess we can talk about news. Whatever. What the fuck happened? Did we have a docket?
No.
Fuck.
No.
Hey, Xbox did some shit.
Xbox. I figured you would talk about Xbox. I'd talk about Shin Megami Tensei, and then we'd see what fucked up brain stuff we'd talk about.
Yeah, cool.
And that was it.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's all. That was the only plan I had.
Cool. What does your Velvet Room look like? Ooh, that's a good question. My Velvet Room totally has 2 big titty attendees in there. No, 100%.
Yeah, it's Igor.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
He stole the same voice. Damn, Igor, you packing, homie.
No, it's both Igors.
Oh,
it's
no.
2 voices.
I get to yell to both Igor,
Yeah.
too? Fuck.
I don't know what the fuck mine would be. Mine would be real lame. They'd slap some blue paint on the walls in here and like call it a day.
Yours would be... Hold on. Let me think of content creator FGC. Because you got to think... It's got to be the prison, right? So
Gotta be the prison.
It's got to be the prison. So yours is stuck behind the fucking... the streaming setup at a CEO. And DBZ
Justine and Caroline are playing Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Fighters. And it got to the bracket reset, and it's grand finals. The score is 3-3.
And the only
And
way
they keep getting draws.
and the only way you're gonna make it out of this place alive is if you use the connections you made in the FGC
To unplug the
to
Ethernet.
unplug the Ethernet and to go home.
I have to make enough connections to pull the fire alarm and get away with it. Because those two, they just draw, replay it, draw.
You go up to it. You don't have enough courage for that. I'm still trying to think of what my Velvet Room would be. My Velvet Room would probably be main stage at a music festival, and I have to find out. My fusions would be actually mixing songs together that were Persona based and shit like that. I think that'd probably be my Velvet Room.
I think my Velvet Room would just be a blue room with a PS4 with Persona in it. And I fused the Personas by just doing it.
By playing the video game?
Playing Persona. I think that's what it would be.
Oh, Max is an office cubicle. Well, that's only because Max doesn't believe he's creative. That's the biggest issue that I've told you people before, is that Max is always like, I don't have an ounce of creativity, and then hits back with like the strongest zingers of all time every time. And it's like, that doesn't come from nowhere.
No, it does.
Like, yeah, it
comes from a place that exists between dream and reality. Mine and matter. No, I don't have a Velvet Room because I'm the attendance.
Okay, so whatever. Hey, Microsoft had a thing. They did some stuff. Halo.
All I know is that everyone thinks the game is ugly and bad.
Yeah.
He do a run.
He do run and make bad.
Why? So you like Halo. You like that game with the green boy. Why are people so upset that the super soldier runs?
The idea is that if you change the run speed, it has to basically change the entire level design, which I respond, fucking no. And I think that a lot of people who make these like large, because like Chris Reagan had a video on it. I haven't seen it, so I can't say what the biggest points were. A lot of people were talking about how like level design was a huge fucking problem, and I was like, no, you just, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks because you make the default run speed a little slower in comparison, but you just make whatever he was running at normally just the sprint speed, and you're fine. Maybe if it is faster, you get more open environments, which Halo was already kind of open.
We played some matches of Halo 3 because that dropped. Every single one of those maps is for the most part a large open area, flat area.
Yeah.
And the battle rifle doesn't work anyway, so why do you even care? It's a good thing you don't ever use that weapon. Why would they fix it?
It works. Just not in the Halo 2 anniversary. I mean, the Halo 2 anniversary it works the best.
Halo 3, man. Apparently, it doesn't work in any of them in the Master Chief Collection.
I beg to disagree, but that's because I grew up with them. So, I'm
only saying what I was told. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're wrong. They're 100% wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that from what I saw what I was expecting, which was Halo, and
I saw what I was expecting, which was Doom.
Ew. Well, I mean, yeah, kind of, except not as fast. It just wasn't as fast as Doom.
Yeah.
And I think I'm completely fine with that. I'm not expecting. The thing that scares me more is what the fuck Halo Infinite actually is. It's a platform.
No, I don't want to buy a platform.
It's a 10-year service.
I want to buy a video game.
Yeah. Tell me about it, man. I don't want to fucking continue to play. They said this is the last Halo numbered entry because Halo Infinite will be our storytelling vehicle.
Halo Infinite is not a number.
That's not a number.
It's a concept.
Mm-hmm. It is our Halo platform. And I said, I'm fucking out. So that to me is the most egregious fucking problem because in my head, sure, conceptually the idea is you get to go ahead and you play your Halo games, right? You get the idea, the ability to go ahead and essentially you don't ever have to worry about rebuying anything for the most part until the DLC comes out. But then, like, at the same time, it's like, I don't play Halo for the Destiny model. That's not what I wanted. I'm fine with numbered entries. Why does everything have to be a live service fucking model?
I don't want to play Crash Team Racing till I die, Activision.
I mean, like, fucking... Dude.
Nothing will ever top that one for me.
I think
you'd have to try really hard.
Yeah, no, I get you. 100%.
And I also agree with what you were about to say in that Grand Theft Auto 5 ruined video games.
Thank you.
It ruined video games.
Yeah, 100%. I think that just because of the fact that the sheer existence of it existing and being as quote-unquote good as it is fucked everything up because now that's a money-making device that like just nobody can fucking get away from. And everyone wants to be but can't. So... yeah, whatever. Halo. Couple other games got fucking shown. Whatever. We're going to be playing one of those weird bug-type games. Grounded, I think it came out on Game Pass the other day. Looks neat.
Oh.
The little your child, Honey, I Shrunk the fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's a Minecraft.
Survival game.
Build a...
survival game.
Sure.
Whatever. Looks fun.
PSO2! Yeah, PSO2 is finally coming out.
Finally. Listen,
PSO2.
If y'all thought if y'all thought that a next generation Phantasy Star Online title wasn't going to be the fucking game of the show for your boy, after the literal tears that I fucking shed and the massive sandbagging that Max had given me during the fucking announcement of the new Genesis,
Oh.
I mean, to the point.
Oh, I
where,
thought you were gonna say the original.
No, the
reveal.
original you supported me.
Yeah.
This one you couldn't have sandbagged harder. It was like I put you in front of my door to stop the hurricane water from seeping in.
Yeah, it's like
Like you were full on.
Yeah, I was the black rectangular construction paper on your wall.
I mean, because I was sitting there and it's like, so now that we have all the information that's come out about it, it is a standalone title. It is absolutely PSO3, but they don't want to call it that because, according to everybody, PSO2 JP makes Sega 60% of its fucking earnings. So it makes sense that they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of confusion about what exactly transfers over, and they've already said it's a new game, the whole nother game. So your levels, your characters, they're all going to be different because by virtue of the combat system and everything is different. It's a different title.
Yeah.
So that inherently is different. But your cosmetics and your AC and your SG and all your premium currencies carry over. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? And then they said also PSO2 is getting a graphical upgrade to, and some people are saying it's not going to look as good. And then the video says it's going to look as good. So nobody fucking knows.
I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know either.
That's kind of wild.
The reason why I don't why I'm going to be more inclined to not believe it is because of the fact that why would you sell that game? Why would you make a whole other game when you can just redo PSO2? Now, like I think that inherently that it is going to look better.
Yeah.
They're probably going to upgrade like the animation models and stuff like that, but like in terms of updating that engine to look as good as PSO New Genesis does is going to be pretty insane.
Yeah.
But it is PSO 3, okay, New Genesis, is a open, they call it open field, which to me means it's still going to be instance, but like the instances are, as we've seen, fucking huge. So it's going to be as close to, like, it's going to be the SAO game.
Well,
but with like,
well, the way I took it wasn't that. The way I thought of it is like, oh, it's just going to be like a 14 or a World of Warcraft where it is just a big connected world.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be instanced. I guess
when I say instanced, literally what I mean is like the area is an instance. Open. The concept between open world MMOs and instance MMOs, Black Desert Online is an open world MMO. That's why it requires you to travel from place to place.
I understand the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then instance literally means I'm going into a loading screen.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
So it is an instanced open world MMO, which is unlike anything it's ever been. It is effectively an MMO, not even an ARPG at this point. But then you look at the combat system and there's weapon switching, and there's flying, and there's lots of running, and very big, very large, spooky enemies.
I saw the guy doing the shoots and the combat dodges that looked very cool.
Did you see? And then the next generation graphics engine, you look at it, when he fires, all of the fucking grass on the field blows back.
Won't be able to run that game.
Ooh.
Definitely won't be able to run that.
So it's coming out on Xbox and Windows 10, and then I guess they said it will also be coming to other platforms.
Yeah,
so Steam.
Maybe wait for that one.
Yeah. And then if you're lucky enough to know Japanese and everything, you can play it on PS4 and all that shit, which I'm assuming there's going to be versions for the Xbox Series X and PS5 as well.
Yeah.
That seems to me like a fucking clear-cut seller for like, hey, you want your fucking crazy anime action MMO? Here it is. If they turn around and say that most of your cosmetics can come over with you.
Oh,
done.
You forgot to say Switch.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Okay. All right. I thought.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
I'll just stick to commenting on Gamatsu news articles then.
You sure should. That game doesn't run on Switch.
That game, it might walk on Switch.
Yeah, ooh, with a limp.
More hobbles. More What, did anything else happen during that Xbox show? It was really long. I felt like we saw stuff, but nothing I cared about.
Nothing I give a shit about. Other than
I
the
think
PSL.
I think the big takeaway from that is that they really don't care about the Series X, and they don't care if you buy one.
That was what I was saying. Is like it seems like they're going to transfer Xbox to a brand that kind of is essentially going to be more based around just video games in general.
Yeah.
So
That Game Pass is a great deal. I will not cancel my Game Pass subscription. That is for sure.
yeah,
Although, hey, guys, come on, Rare Replay. Can we? I don't care about Gears of Total War, like whatever that is. Gears of Warcraft. No. I just want to play Banjo-Kazooie.
well, the only other news that really kind of like is viable and wants to talk about is not fun news to talk about.
From Xbox?
No, just in general.
I can talk about Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh,
Shin Megami Tensei. They remembered.
they didn't just remember; they showed up.
Yeah, they showed up. That was a I don't even know why they had other games in that direct. I'm sure Cadence of Hyrule is great, but man,
That to me is like one of the biggest like to-dos of like, hey, you know what? That's the way to bring it back is let's do a small out of nowhere announcement. Also full on fucking global release. That's why we've been waiting so long, dickhead.
yeah. So I believe 0 of it. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne will release next year. That is yeah, that'll release in 2021.
Yeah.
And they heard I wanted to do a playthrough of Nocturne, and they're like, "Bitch, you're gonna wait." And I was happy to see PS4 release on there because that Switch version doesn't look like it's running very well.
No, it doesn't.
Which it's a PS2 game, so I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, it didn't get a. It wasn't like when Persona
Switch port wins.
No, Persona 5? No, it can't. It can't do it. But yeah, very excited for Nocturne. I have absolutely no faith that Shin Megami Tensei 5 will come out next year. I have like 0. Nothing is more terrifying to me than an Atlas release window. The Atlas release window is like, it's like,
Not Square Enix.
maybe.
I feel like with that Atlas,
They would have done 7 would have happened if it wasn't for the spooky virus. They almost did it.
they almost did it.
Almost had it.
They almost did it.
Do you think they started the virus so they could postpone the game?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It was a part of the play.
Yeah.
Atlas, absolutely. Just
Oh, I was talking about Square Enix.
both.
There was a collaboration. Effort.
Just fuck it.
It's super weird. Demi-Fiend was coming to the Dissidia mobile game, and then the coronavirus started, and then Remake got pushed back.
I don't know. It's just so weird.
But hey, Shin Megami Tensei 5. Lucifer's up to some no good shenanigans. That's a
That
sorry,
dastardly old demon man. He
Yeah.
needs to stop doing the thing to Japan.
Yeah. Yo, demons need to leave Japan alone. Japan has had it really rough in Shin Megami Tensei.
I mean,
sometimes it's underground. Sometimes it's in a big egg.
it's a result of an ICBM. Like, fuck.
Sometimes the demons nuke Japan.
Ah.
Oh, I can't wait for 5. Gleam nothing from that trailer except that the new demons look cool, and that's a very pretty main character.
Yeah. That's probably gonna have a slider of male or female.
I mean, they already showed.
That's a pretty.
I think they showed a male and female variant
that's
already.
that's what I'm saying. Is that like that's a pretty. It's like for a design that could work singularly across both
I was gonna
genders.
say, yeah, on the character creator, it's really only 1 or 2 sliders that you changed.
Do you want small chest bump or no chest bump?
That's it.
That's it. That's your thing. And they're gonna do great no matter what.
So yeah, I'm very excited for that, and I guess we'll lump it in with the other piece of news, and that is that
the Koei Tecmo one.
The Koei Tecmo one. Shuffle. Nope, that's not what it's called.
That's not what it's called.
Scramble,
it's the one I've been telling you.
Scramble. Strikers. Phantom
Strikers. P5 Strikers.
Yeah, I always knew it was going to come out here. It was just a matter of when. And I am happy about that news. But I don't care until it's in my console, so no one fucking talk to me about it anymore.
All right.
Tell me the release date. No, this is for spoilers now.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything about this game besides the day it comes out.
For sure.
And wait until a second release date. Don't tell me I don't want to know a window. Don't tell me a window. I don't want to know it. Tell me the date.
Cybertron calls up and says we have Strikers.
Yeah.
That's the day.
Yeah,
you care.
call me. After the stream, I'm gonna give you $60, and I'm just gonna say I want it. Just put it on my desk when it's here. That's it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to hear about
You're
it.
gonna come in and go, what the fuck is?
If it's real, it's here. Fine. If not, then not.
All right. You know what? I'll give some love to Ro because Ro is being a little bitch baby in chat. And go ahead and give a shout out to little Ro. The reason why the Weeb games are the only ones that matter is because everything else looked really fucking by the numbers. So
what, at the Xbox thing?
Yeah. So so the only thing that jumped out to me as a real announcement was Stalker, because Stalker is fucking cool in concept. I've never played that game. I can't speak to that game. The idea that Stalker 2 is happening is insane. But we got a cinematic trailer. Not much to really go off of.
What about, I mean, the Silent Hill thing?
The medium doesn't look that great. I'm sorry. So I went back to it and watching it
No,
again.
I'm just saying that I remembered it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I was hoping for good boy points.
Right. No, you got good points, but in my head I'm like, I look at it and it has the same problem that I think a lot of fucking horror games do, in that they wanna allude to Silent Hill without reaching those kind of levels of depravity.
Without doing it.
Yeah, it's like the Silent Hill has a very unique kind of grime and grit to it that doesn't translate well.
If you're not gonna have a man with a triangle head fucking some mannequins, don't even try.
Or at the very least have something that everything about that whole trailer to me kind of just seemed very hokey. Like the whole where are you? I'm gonna find you. Would you hit poke you in the gross booty?
You probably have a sad backstory.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I don't give a shit. I was at the time I was on board, and the more I watched the trailer, I was like, I don't care. They have a really cool system where it's two things. There's two worlds happening in tandem with one another that you apparently are playing at the same time. But I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And why couldn't there just be something I just press the button, switch? And I don't know much about what's happening in it. All I know is that what I saw, it looks very, very fucking hokey, and I'm very sick of these fucking horror games that are just by the numbers and just so
haunted house game.
Well, PT was a fucking haunted house game, and guess
literally
what?
A haunted house.
And guess what? That was interesting, intriguing, and was able to convey all those things with relative ease, without a whole lot of problems. Every time I see someone try to go do the Silent Hill thing, they don't hit Silent Hill. They hit Quiet Mountain or some shit. It's just it's just oh, well, it's like a vague kind of semblance of it. The closest that's come to it is a fucking 2D game, the Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
It's the closest that game has come to making you feel like a Silent Hill game.
Every other game, they get off at the wrong exit. They're 2 exits late.
Yeah.
But they're well, we're here. let's make the most of it.
Right, exactly.
I know you really wanted to go to Silent Hill, but you know.
So, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna have the Akira Yamaoka soundtrack, but like it's so much more than that, because his general sound design in everything that was playing out was what made a lot of those encounters, and you are also incumbent upon the fact of like the general look of it all. Like when you watch Silent Hill gameplay, you feel like you're gonna contract tetanus just from like looking at it, because it looks so gross and dirty and just other, like you're in another world that you don't, that is alien to you, and, it's
that's just the PlayStation 1. That's not even talking about the art direction.
God damn it.
I can't stress enough when Ricky Carmichael rides onto the screen after that nightmare-inducing loading screen.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, I want that game to be good, but I don't want every game to be, that's like every horror game to just be like, I'm spooky and I'm coming to get you. It's like, I'd rather it just be a thing that's like a concept. Like most of the Silent Hill monsters that are just plainly concepts and are far more terrifying because of that. Like no one ever approaches them from the idea of a conceptual fucking creation, and the idea of this, like Daddy as a fucking monster is terrifying. In Silent Hill 2, Daddy is just a morph of flesh on what has just two legs in the bottom, two fucked up legs, but like it's separated by like a large sharp rectangle like fucking geometry shape with two forms on top that look like they're having sex, and it's supposed to represent...
Oh, it's the bed thing.
Yeah, the bed thing.
Oh, I hate that thing.
Yeah. Daddy is a fucking terrifying monster, both in concept and the look.
No.
And there's nothing like that in from what I saw in the small bits of the pieces of the trailer.
It has a big mouth and spooky teeth.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like every fucking, like, you know, like everyone
What if
just
it's that guy from Amnesia, but like done again?
Well, so like, okay, take for instance like so where the concept of like modern day horror is Siren Head. So what the fuck is Siren? So Siren Head essentially is apparently a 40-foot fucking tall monster that pretends it's like street lamps and shit like that will come down and like kill people by sneaking up on them somehow, and is 40 feet tall. And like that's the level of like where modern day horror is, where it's like it plays spooky noises.
Oh no, you got tiny teeth though.
The tiny teeth are kind of weird. Like I'm not saying, like, conceptually the original like look of it is cool, but like what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, first and foremost, when the fuck has anyone ever been around a radio siren, like at all? Like, yeah, like it doesn't come up. Like you're in the woods and this giant fucking lamppost shows up to eat your dick off, and you're just like, why?
If it's putting in that much effort, it can have it.
Yeah, first and foremost, how did I not see this fucker coming in the woods?
I think the scariest SCP, like because I guess that's what it's.
It's not an SCP. I think it's being accepted as one. It's like a guy who just like he makes up a bunch of. The original origin of it was a guy who just makes up a bunch of horror things, which they all look creepy, sure, but like conceptually they've nothing to them.
But the one like SCP thing that always was the most disturbing to me is just it's a bunch of stairs that go down.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of stairs that go down.
And you don't know what's there. And it's like the further that you go down, something fucking terrible is down there.
It's bad. What is it? It doesn't matter. It's bad.
If you are going to ascribe a shape to something, it has to represent conceptually something so terrifying, and it's almost on the face of it. And the best designs that have been ever done, enemy designs that have been done, are the original Silent Hill games, because they are all about that. They are all about taking very simple, kind of not very subtle concepts, and then just amorphizing them in this gaggle of flesh and bone and grime and rust.
The really notable ones. Sometimes it's just an ugly dog or a fat guy,
and that's fine.
And you need to fill the roster.
But the big, the important ones. Where you're in a room where it's a bunch of pistons going back and forth representing fucking like like unwanted
Bad.
penetration. Like,
Yeah.
Daddy's a fucking sick boss fight in a lot of ways. Like, it's a crazy design, and so is like Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head's iconic. It's like
Silent Hill makes me feel gross.
yeah, and it's supposed to.
I know, it's really good.
It's really fucking good.
Oh, but it makes me feel so bad.
And then every fucking person who's like, I want to make a Silent Hill, it's like, okay, you have to start off by having a concept that makes people want to fucking kill themselves. Like, the idea is you are playing this game, you don't want to play this game. That's what a horror game is supposed to induce. Feelings of, I do not want to proceed further.
There was a period of time when I was like, you know what? Silent Hills. And it was after I played Death Stranding, where I'm like, Kojima, off the leash, is so like on the nose that I feel like he couldn't do it. But now thinking about it, like, this is Bad Dad Man, designed by Junji Ito.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe he could have done it. Maybe he is, now that I think about it, the only one who could have done it.
Right.
So, like...
And the thing that always gets me is that European developers and just Europeans in general are very good at creating and crafting horror.
Yeah.
They're very good at it. And it's just like, every single time I think about like any like traditional monster design in any fucking horror game, it's like very just boring. Super fucking boring. And I'm just like... I want something that makes me that like I look at it and I go, oh shit, like
Yeah.
I want that visceral reaction of like, I've never seen it, and if I ever saw it in real life, I would probably just die from shock. Like, and that's the kind of like world that like I want from a horror game. That most horror games, and that's why for me the horror games that hit me the most are the ones that have like intangible fucking enemies, like enemies that you don't see or that are ghost. Because Ghost fucked me up because you can't fuck with a ghost. Ghost will always just like...
one guy can. Ghost Hunters, man, can.
You mean Zach?
Zach.
Oh.
Zach the God. Listen.
That's a rabbit hole that's worth going down, is Ghost Hunters. And seeing that one bald guy lose his shit every time they're out on a fucking like job. And those guys have made a fucking, like, millions of dollars just wholesale sitting in the dark and screaming at random things. And it's incredible.
Zach must be, like, the strongest human, right? Because he like, lays on the ground. He's like, I'll fight every ghost in this building.
He is the Ichigo of the real world. His spirit pressure is unbelievable.
Did you know that Zach is Japanese for strawberry?
I want to say that you guys can't see it at home, but the when I said that out loud and Max looked like he just swallowed something sour, like his whole face just went.
What is Zach's Zanpakuto? And don't tell me what that is. I just know what the word is.
It's Annabelle.
Like the doll or like a Blu-ray copy?
Ooh. Now you're getting in some fucking like blood arc shit.
Where do the Ghost Brothers fit in?
So it's the doll first, right?
Yeah.
But then like his spiritual pressure gets taken away from him, so he has to utilize the Blu-ray to incite the spirit of his Zanpakuto.
All I can think about is Zach going to the spirit dimension or whatever it is in Bleach again. Please, nobody tell me. And the Ghost Brothers are all there, and they're wearing the robes. And they're like, finally, Zach. And then I don't know.
Welcome to the Soul Society. And he's like, sick.
It's like, Soul Society, that sounds like ghosts. I'm going to fight all of you. I'm going to punch the ghost until they're re-dead. Ghosts, I swear to God, if you come out here, I'll resurrect you and I'll put you back.
What an incredible series. It is all about a man telling you, you are not supposed to do this, and then turns around and says, suck my fat fucking dick, ghosts. Eat my asshole on
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, and that's the thing. Never go in a haunted house, but Zach can walk into a haunted house with like a WWE intro if he wants, and like get a lower third in there, like
Where's the gravestone? I'll break that shit in half.
yeah, that's actually a really important historical. He elbow dropped it. All right. Zach, there's no ghost there. There's no ghosts anywhere. It's a tourist trap. Yeah, there's no ghost because I got his ass. That's why there's no ghosts here.
I showed up and I showed him the what for, and he was like, "Oh shit, that guy looks serious." Oh fuck.
I'm sure Zach doesn't have nightmares because he fights them all.
You've got to admit, like, there's a because like what he's like a fucking weird Indiana Jones type now for tourist trap ghost areas.
Yeah.
Because he just absconds with relics from them. I don't think telling anybody. And now he has like a museum set up where he's like, this is where I went to this spooky place in episode 371 in season 7 of the Blood War
Well, that's what
arc.
you do. You kill your prey and you take their trophy.
Yeah.
You bring it home. You mount the ghost on your wall. And this is where I keep the heads of all the ghosts I've killed. Zach, this is an empty fucking room.
No, it's not.
No.
See, if you had the spiritual pressure I had, you'd be able to perceive
Zach, I can't
them.
stress enough. You put a bunch of wooden plaques on your wall with nothing on them. To the untrained eye, maybe.
If you squint real hard and just look real deep, you'll see a wisp of what? Smoke.
Whatever his full name is, whenever we do that Shimigami Tensei Nocturne playthrough, I'm naming Demi-Fiend Zach. I'm
looking it up. What's his fucking name? Ghost Hunters.
like
Zach.
Like he can't.
Zach Baggins.
Zach Baggins. That's 100%.
Look
his
at this
name.
fucking man.
He like yeah.
Look at this fucking Shad. Holy shit.
Like he can't see the stands, but he can beat them.
Now that's a character. That's a character I haven't seen. Maybe because I haven't watched JoJo, but like
I don't think there's a character in JoJo that can't see the stands but knows about them and beats stand users. I don't think that happens, but it should.
Nah,
That's a hell of a character. And his name's Zach Baggins.
And he does have does. His fucking stand name becomes the Black Parade.
Oh.
Anyways, some other shit got announced for Xbox. Warhammer stuff. Dude, those games are fucking great.
I don't have all that money though.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Rare is not making Conquer because you were supposed to make it yourself, remember?
And
Idiot.
whatever they're making looks beautiful. Whatever it is.
I don't
know what the fuck it is.
I'm sure it'll be a really colorful game where you hold forward.
Everything that's the biggest thing is that like most of what we saw was like cinematic trailers. And
I hope you guys are really excited for not Life is Strange, but that game.
Hey man, they Don't Nod are really good at doing the one thing, and that's creating these very impactful,
Are they? Because I don't know a
stories.
single human that's ever played one.
Popcorn.
No.
Yes.
No, he hasn't.
I thought he did.
No, he told me he hasn't.
Yeah, Life is Strange.
No. He told me he hasn't played them.
Josh, then.
No.
Josh?
I don't believe you.
Someone.
Maybe. You would think somebody because they keep making them. So you'd think you'd know a single person that has played one. I don't know anyone who's played one of those games. At all. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I genuinely can't think of anything else that got announced. That's it.
There is one thing I do want to speak to, which is the bad news that was good news in retrospect. And that's, we've talked about it at length before. Once again, the entire video games industry is in this weird kind of Me Too turmoil right now. And the kind of the biggest takeaway, essentially, or the biggest person that's been taken down was this guy, Herskowitz, I want to say his name was.
Yeah.
Piece of shit who worked at Ubisoft, facilitated a culture of fucking harassment and disrespect and all this shit, and was apparently the creative lead behind every single decision that Ubisoft has made for what I'm only assuming is the last 2 decades. So, to the point where if you read the article that he was featured in, people would have like they would have to sit there and talk about meetings and like if it didn't get past him at all, he would like cancel it. Doesn't matter how good the game looked. Doesn't matter how far along it came. Did you see the one about Mike Laidlaw, the guy, the Dragon Age guy?
I heard about Avalon.
So Avalon was a Monster Hunter inspired King Arthur game. It was a co-op RPG, and this guy said, if it can't beat Tolkien, I don't want it. And he decided to just basically belay the project and just completely fuck it over to the point where Mike Laidlaw decided to go ahead and quit. So, goddamn shame. We don't know how many games he's done that for. Every time that you look at any kind of thing that's ever happened, this guy was apparently in charge of everything in terms of creative direction that Ubisoft had taken. So then he's fucking gone. The world is Ubisoft's oyster. Like, they literally can do whatever they want now, and it's gonna be
I think that's cool, because if like with the training weights on, if they like, because they release like solid stuff, you know.
I mean, it's
either solid. It either releases solid, which was like Watch Dogs 2,
right?
And I'm sure there is a second one. Or it eventually becomes solid.
Right.
So if they can just start doing weird stuff like Avalon would have been, or actually doing stuff they're passionate about instead of, make more Ghost Recon Wildlands DLC.
Right.
Which, fuck, I didn't know that game was still happening. I thought that was like a co-op game, like a single-player co-op.
He's the reason they don't use UbiArt framework engine for games anymore.
Oh, thank God. Rayman sucks.
Oof.
So sad. Saying that hurt me.
Well, there it is. That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
like, so with him gone, that means that Ubisoft can do whatever the fuck they want, and I'm very excited to see what that ends up actually being.
Yeah.
I don't know. And to be honest, this is the kind of shit that this stuff does. Like, a lot of people call it cancel culture, but this is the kind of shit that like happens. It's like good. Is you get these fucking idiots who have been ruining video games for literal years. And now they're fucking gone because they're pieces of shit and they deserve to be on their way out. So,
yeah.
Hey, there's that.
There you go.
And then a little update on, I think we talked about Dr. Respect back in the day. Guess what? We don't have any updates. He made interviews where people asked him questions and he said, I don't want to talk about it.
The only thing we know is that he is not as strong as Mr. Darkside Phil, who has been banned like 3 times and has come back.
And he's back!
Because you cannot keep the man down. If the IRS couldn't kill him, then who will? Zach Baggins? Not yet.
Only when he's dead.
Only when he's dead.
Which, at this point...
Zach Baggins holds no power over the mortal realm. It is only when he travels to Outworld that he has any... Zach Baggins could fuck Ermac up. That's a 10-0 matchup.
Okay, that's where we're ending it on. Can't stop the 2005 ST Evo champ.
You can't. Next podcast, I'll have a lot of fighting game stuff to talk about probably because they're having a big roundtable with people from Bandai Namco, so Harada, Mr. Three Frames himself, and I always forget Okubo, the director for Soul Calibur.
Oh,
does good work. I hope they're doing all right. Some people from Arc System Works, some people from Arika, which is crazy.
That's insane.
And SNK and Capcom, but like not any of the people that look like they could make decisions. So good invite. And not NetherRealm. Ha 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 ha. It's because he's that's because he's too busy subjecting his staff to your nightmares. And I can guarantee that they're going to talk about everything but netcode. They're all they got all these developers in place, and the first question they're going to get asked is, hey, when's Jun coming to Tekken? And it's just going to be an hour and a half of those. But there's also going to be a Street Fighter V Direct next week.
What?
Yeah, me and Jesse are going to watch that.
I'll be on board.
They're adding 5 characters.
Wow, okay. Cool.
Allegedly in a season.
Oh,
5.
hey, we're also working on our own little fighting game tournament thing for people.
Oh, that's true. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, there will be a link in the description. Unless you're watching this way later, in which case you missed it, buddy.
You missed it. You should have been there. It was awesome. We had Punch.
But a lot of fighting games are on sale right now on Steam and PS4, and we have a straw poll up for a bunch of games. So vote on what you would be interested in playing. I think Under Night on PC is in the lead right now because our boys rigged the voting.
I mean, if you guys show up and it's not a top 8, go fuck yourselves. We're not doing round robins. Eat our dicks. I'm just saying.
So if you're coming out, come to play, because now our FGC friends know. So you can still vote in the straw poll. They have to play with random select if they join.
Yeah.
If Josh and Rafi, if they join, they gotta play on random select or something, or with half their buttons. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
No, here's what you do: first to 10 me in Valorant, and then I'll tell you who you're playing.
That's how we do seeding.
Yeah.
But yes, I think like Under Night and Tekken 7 on PS4 and Under Night on PC are in the lead right now. So if you think those choices suck, vote in the straw poll. Which if you're watching us on Twitch, Floppy, put in the chat. And if you're watching us on YouTube, Max, put it in the description.
Okay, boss.
Good.
Hey, Max, what's going on for the channel?
On my end, we're going to be continuing Shin Megami Tensei. I think tomorrow. I'm pretty sure tomorrow, but I might get lazy and do it on Thursday instead. We're not going to be playing Nocturne after that's done because Atlas said no for now. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to think of something else to play. I don't know if it'll be another RPG. But as far as probably just some fighting games. If we're doing the straw poll, I think what I'll start doing is whatever is at the very top and then like the 2 underneath, I'll like boot the game up and I'll try my best to explain to everybody basic stuff. So that if you'd never played one of these before, you'll at least have a base level knowledge. And then probably just more one-offs until I can think of something. Big old thing to start up.
All right. So, for me, the quintessential multiplayer man, you guys know that I'm always going to be playing now 3 games, effectively. Rogue Company is enjoyable. I'm going to keep playing that, seeing how that goes. Maybe I'll drop it. Valorant has me by the balls, no matter how many times you try to say otherwise. And I'm going to be bringing those back to stream, so expect some raid streams, unfortunately. Some people actually do enjoy those. Just the numbers show it. And then PSO2 will be having a resurgence both for the Japanese and the North American version, so those are going to be the 3 main multiplayer titles I'm going to be kind of expressing myself. Then I'm going to be doing something. Hopefully Mr. Max will join us along. I want to start up Kusoge, boys. That concept that was given to me a while ago, fucking years ago. And I want to do it with Memorpiga, which is, the idea is we find a really old and kind of shitty Asian MMO that we used to play back in the day and play it all together on stream. Memorpiga. So Memorpiga is coming. So we'll have some of our FGC boys that are going to be known as the Kusoge boys when they're on this stream. Because we like shitty games. That's really cool. And then in terms of single player, I really want to play a Tales game. So I don't know.
So on the Game Gear, right? It was called Tails' Adventure.
Yeah.
You see, Sonic gets kidnapped.
Okay.
Tails, he got a big magnet. He's gonna go save Sonic.
Because that's how he gets the rings, right?
Yeah, you actually have a big ring, and you fly around, and you collect rings with Tails.
So he collects rings with the ring.
Yeah, it's a big ring. It's a magnet.
It's a magnet.
Yeah, because the rings are made out of metal.
Where do the rings go? They chain?
I don't know.
No, they just go somewhere else. So he just sucks them up somewhere else.
He doesn't have pockets, so I don't know where he puts the rings.
That's troubling. Is that part of the story?
I guess you'll have to play it to find out.
I guess we'll have to play it to find out. Tales of Vesperia? I don't know, maybe. We'll see. There's a bunch of ideas in my head.
We'll try to find maybe a game that we can play, whether single player or multiplayer.
Well, I know what game we can play.
Not that one.
Mm-hmm.
Why that one?
I know.
There's
a game
infinite.
we can play
There's a billion games.
because that one's the one that people want.
Why? I already played it, and I got a substantial way through it.
So you played like an hour of it, is what you're saying?
No, I played I was like a mission or two away, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you telling me I wasn't?
Maybe.
I mean, I didn't do all the routes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it's time.
Can't we just listen to the soundtrack for an hour and pretend we played it?
No. Because I think it's time. I think now that you said that, I think it's absolutely time. This fucking song is sick.
The soundtrack is really good.
This song is fucking good.
It is. My gripes with the game don't lie with the soundtrack. The soundtrack's great. Cutscenes are great. I'd watch a movie.
It's my favorite class in PSO2. The Bouncer coming to you soon. Play us out on that. Just go. You got time.
There's no play us out. What do you
Yeah,
mean
hold on.
we got time?
You just go find it. Find it. It's gonna be Sion's theme. It's gonna be Sion's theme.
I left this over here.
All right, now then click it, and then here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for joining us in another podcast in episode 30. Go ahead and find it on YouTube and everywhere. We're going to pull it on some other voices as well.
It's never as smooth as I want it. I can't stop the recording. All right, YouTube audience. Goodbye. The video's over. Go away.